All right, we ready to go?
Gigi and Jill.
Whenever
Brother
you're ready,
F. Hit play.
Cue us off, baby.
Sit back in the drop top, absorb it.
Big Queens, Big Queens, Big Queens.
That's what I'm gonna do. Blaze a 50.
Celine Dion. Shout out to the GOAT, Nasty Nas.
Queens royalty, baby.
GAHHDCast episode 198.
Two more.
We got the brother Lex in the building today.
Peace.
Special guest CF in the building.
Jersey, Jersey, stand up. Let's go. Jersey and Queens, yo, what a combo.
Yeah,
Like that.
Can't beat that.
I knew he was gonna be out here, so I hollered at my man.
Gotta do it.
I was silked out.
Gotta do it.
As always, welcome world, welcome world. I want to let y'all hear some Nas bars. Just don't fall in love. I'm hugged up with this bitch in a tub. Woo! I feel you, Nas.
You get caught up like that sometimes, dude.
It'd be worth it.
Yeah, sometimes.
R.I.P. DJ Clark Kent.
Yo, how old is this, Burns?
How old is this song?
Yeah, what year is this from? It's gotta be like 90.
I want to say 98, 99.
Yeah, I was gonna say 98, right? 98?
Where's LeCoq Sport?
Was this Lost Tapes?
Yes.
Lost Tapes.
But it was originally for
Right, it was originally.
I Am.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I Am
autobiography
Thomas, yeah.
So I Am, what was that? Was like 97, 98.
That was 98, yeah, that was 98. Maybe even 99.
Caught him with a Spanish maid.
Yeah. Nah, it's nasty.
Tied to her legs, sex, S&M, sadomasochistic, sadistic. Fucking Nas, what you be smoking?
For real. What's it
50.
like? I
Raising
was
to
at
50.
Yeah,
for real,
the
yeah,
vials, the
that's- yeah.
vials. Welcome world, welcome world. I am the brother Burns. As always, to the left of me, I got the brother VS.
Yes, to the OP. You know what it be, baby. We out here repping that LBE. Wearing that MDMA all day.
And today we got Queen's finest, Lex Nyre, in the building.
All right, salute.
Lex was born in Westchester, flying best dresser. Queens rapper, spit hard like new dentures. God damn. Shout out to everybody out there with dentures. Our generation is nearing
Shout out to everybody with dentures because you spit hard.
dentures, baby. We got a lot to get to.
Yeah.
Brother Lex got an album out right now named John.
Yes, sir.
Make sure y'all go download that, out on all DSPs.
That's right.
He's got a bunch of projects we're going to talk about. We're also going to talk about his production. He produced 98% of John. I want to know who John is also. We're going to get to that.
Yeah.
We're going to discuss Brother Lex's influences, both as a rapper and as a producer. We're going to go back and talk some Boom Bap Hip Hop. We're going to talk some Polo Ralph Lauren.
Some health issues, you know, some health, life.
Some health advice, not
Yes,
issues.
not issues, life.
And we're going to talk hip-hop memorabilia. Ooh. I also want to know who Lex is a surprise fan of, like an unexpected, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. Let's start with John.
I gotta figure that one out.
Yeah, think about it. Who is someone that you like that I would never guess?
What's
you
my
like?
guilty pleasure?
True,
Yeah.
a guilty pleasure. True indeed.
Let's start with the new album, John, out now on all DSPs. Make sure y'all go stream that, download that. Make sure y'all are following Brother Lex on Instagram at Lex NYRE and also on YouTube. Make sure you follow the right page. I believe it's Lex718 on YouTube.
On YouTube,
Yeah.
I believe it's Lex718, and the same for Twitter.
Yeah,
or X or whatever you call that shit.
The world's leading news source.
Yeah,
Yes. I get all my information from Twitter, yeah.
Is that a fact?
I swear to God.
does.
Yeah, no
Anything.
doubt. Nah, I mean,
Because they be the up to the minute with the
Yeah,
news.
they
right
be
away.
up on the right shit.
And they tell you what's really happening before
Right. Before
these
you get the
people,
filtered version.
before they
twist it up.
they
and shit.
twist it up
Yeah.
and shit. So I love Twitter, bro, for that. And also, there's a lot of porn on there. So
That's why he really.
Yeah, it's happening.
It's both. It's both. Yeah, I need both. I need
my
both.
personality.
Yo, but Twitter be wild, yo.
No, you know what I don't like about Twitter? The only thing I really don't like. Yo, you see a lot of murder, bro.
That's
Oh, you see a lot of
that's what I was
crazy shit.
thinking.
A lot of raw shit. Yeah.
Murder, people
Face
shooting
shit.
people.
Yeah,
like some
type
shit that
like
we
that, facts.
should not be seeing, bro.
Yeah, you see a lot of that.
I try very hard to avoid intaking that type of
Content.
content.
That's real shit,
That
though.
shit.
Be a soldier, man. Don't be a pussy.
No, because that shit fucks with you, your mental and your soul and
Yeah,
shit, bro.
if you're a soft tampon ass.
I only want to see people die if I'm causing it. I don't want to see random.
This guy.
Yeah, you want to talk about ninja shit? nigga. Let's go. You know what I'm saying?
Twitter's like,
But no.
like 1010 wins, the Volsetto,
Pornhub.
and Pornhub,
And MTV, because keep it real, that's another thing I love about Twitter. You always see videos first there.
Yeah.
Artists upload their videos. Yeah, like music videos.
You see all your favorite porn stars uploading
And
new shit.
and you get the news on which porn stars are dirty now, because there's a little. I don't know if y'all are up on porn news.
We know you are.
there was a dude. I don't remember his name. Yeah, actually, I do remember his name, but I'm not gonna shout him out.
Okay.
And he was going around burning honeys. And
Shooting with him and burning them?
burned a couple of my little favorite joints, man. So now they gotta come up off my list and shit.
Like they
bro.
got the herb, like cause herb is
I think it was the herb.
Oh.
Yeah, bro. So negative shout out to that brother out in the ATL.
Fuck that
suspect.
guy.
Yeah, bro.
You probably fucked him and now you're fucked.
Ruining my little, my little porn hotties and shit, bro.
This
now
guy.
I gotta find new ones and shit. But let's get you something more important and
for
more
real, this guy with his
positive
fucking
than
porn
my porn
fantasies.
addiction.
Going off tangent.
John, the album John by
Yeah,
Brother
yeah.
Lex. First of all, why John? Who is John?
All right, so John is actually the second project in the series of projects that I've been putting together. The first one I dropped in 2018. They're not consecutive projects. There's been, music in between. But the first one was Alex, right? So that was the first full-length produced project that I did for myself.
Okay.
And Alex is basically me. Alex is my first name.
Okay.
John is actually my government middle. So John is the second stage of what I call the self series.
Okay.
And the name John is actually a name that I got, or the middle name that I got from my brother, because my brother, when I was a baby, he's about 6 years older than me. He wanted my parents. He had asked them if they could name the baby the same name that he had. Right, his name is Eric. And they were like, no, we can't do that. But what we can do is we'll give him your same middle name.
Okay.
So me and him share the same middle name, and he produced one joint on John.
Nice.
So the last album is going to be Acevedo. It's my last name, and that's going to be me and my brother working together on the production. Probably get my pops on it. Matter of fact, my pops did do a little bit on John. He played a little bit of saxophone on the joint that I'm on with CF. Also did the bass line for that track that my brother produced.
Dope. Yes, and we got the brother CF in the building today.
Yes,
Shout out
sir.
to
Came
CF.
through to
Peace,
visit.
peace.
Yes,
JC
Jersey
in
City legend. Absolutely. Now, you and your brother are close?
Yeah.
And he's got what on you? 5, 6 years?
6 years.
Yeah. And he's also a producer?
He's a producer and an engineer. He doesn't rhyme.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah. I mean,
Shout out to that, bro. Shout out to the brother Eric.
shout outs to Enoids. Enoids is his stage name.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
man.
he's on one of the last tracks.
Yeah.
On John, yeah.
Well, he produced the one track you didn't do.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one joint that I did not produce on John was produced by my brother. So yeah, we always
So it's still
keeping
in the
that,
family,
keeping
yeah.
that all in house. Well, it's still John.
That's beautiful. Yeah, absolutely.
That was the
True.
reason we went that route.
That's dope.
And he's also to blame for your obsession, like you said on Low and
Yeah, on Low
Nikes.
and Nikes. Yeah, he did actually kind of tap into some of. So he went to A&D, Art and Design.
Right.
If you're from or around New York City, you realize that Art and Design is like an art school where it was like one of those schools where you got to get tested to get into high school. You know what I mean? You come with a portfolio and all that. He was into architecture.
Dope.
And with that though, you kind of had like an all city school, right? So you had kids coming from all the boroughs, and most of them in the art school are graph writers. I remember I went there to take the test one day. The shit was bombed top to bottom. The cafeteria, it was crazy.
But the
seats-
school will let him because the school is artsy like that.
I don't think they can stop them.
Yeah.
There's so many of them. They all about that life. So so that but A&D was an ill place. Like Havoc and Prodigy met at
That's
Art
what
and
it is.
Design.
Yeah.
And like a few of my Pumpkinhead, I believe PH went to honors A&D. I believe so, man. Rest in peace,
Rest in
PH.
peace, Pumpkinhead. Yes.
But a good few people, they're all talented. C. Ray's Walls, I know, went to A&D. Like a lot of people, they're all everyone that I've learned went to that school. They're talented to some degree.
Well, they had to be to get in, probably.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. But they're creatives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, man, long story short, man, he came from that, like, just like that melting pot of just like intense culture, and he would always like he was big on the Ralph Lauren and you know collecting the low. He had some fly Hilfiger shit too, a few pieces, Jabodes and all that back in the days. So yeah, he did start my obsession with just like kind of, he was the first look that I got at like what fresh looks like, right? I want to be that, I want to do that. I used to try to steal his shit. He's a little bigger than me.
That was my next question. How many times you stole his shit?
The thing is, he was, it'd be big on me though.
But Big was in back then.
Big was in back then.
But not like the crazy.
Exactly. I just, I feel like he looked tougher in it, so I couldn't really pull it off.
That's what's up. Shout out to Big Brothers Worldwide who got robbed for gear, jewelry, slang, fucking music, food, whatever your little sibling could take from you, they was gonna take. But it was all done in love. You feel me? And then like admiration and stuff.
Yeah.
So shout out to that, man. Also in 2024, along with the John album, and shout out to the John album again. Make sure everybody goes download that and check that out because it's a dope album. Brother CF is on there on track 3.
If I had a chance,
other features on there.
King Magnetic. Shout outs to King Mag.
Shout out to King Magnetic
album as well, and Fresh Daily. Is on there. My man Born Unique is on there. So yeah, we got a couple of features on John.
Yeah, that's dope, bro. How do you decide who you want to feature on what song? Is it a feeling?
It's mostly a feeling.
Yeah.
It's mostly a feeling.
And being that you produced it all,
when you made it, you could automatically...
like when does the feeling hit? As you're making the beat, you're like, oh shit, CF gonna sound mad good on this.
Yeah. I think it's a little different every time. Sometimes I'll already have something like a direction where I know I want to go. I know which way I want to write. Other times it's just like, I know who I could hear on this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like from a production standpoint, I always love hearing MCs rhyme over my tracks. You know what I mean? Like, cause I've only been, on the beat making side of things for a handful of years in comparison to rap that I've been doing for decades. Right. So I approach beat making from the perspective of an MC. I'm hearing shit that I know that I like. I just hear it randomly and I know I can rhyme to that. I'm gonna search for that. I'm gonna see if I can find that and flip that. And so, I mean, it's always an MC first perspective. So really, I think what I look for and listen for more, like what really impresses me is, I mean, there's so many different styles, right? Everybody's got their own style, but I like when somebody can flow and somebody has content that can kind of just like match the vibe of the excellence of their flow. Like you've got to be a nice balance,
right?
Of just great wordplay and just sound amazing, and like that's who I try to connect with. So I'm fortunate to have been able to work with a lot of the people that I've been able to work with because they're all people I respect.
Right.
True. And sometimes you just be in the studio and you meet people naturally, and you get on and you know what I'm saying, y'all just ride the vibe together of whatever you're working on in the lab. But particularly for this project, it was MCs that I knew I wanted to connect with. And like CF, for example, was just a brother that was like, yo, you need anything from me, I got you. And I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna let that slip, man.
Yeah.
I've known this brother for many years. He's always been dead nice.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you know what,
and how'd y'all brothers meet?
That sound right. Probably through like
a show or
shows. I'm thinking, right? Because a lot of the times we was doing a lot of shows back in the days at the Bowery, right? Bowery Poetry Club. Where Zeps used to throw a lot of. So Zeps, shout out to Zeps, New York Rhyme Exchange.
Right.
He's one of the brothers that was like kind of a glue for a particular era. So I mean, there was a lot of us that we met during that time, and we all kind of branched off in our own directions. But there was like CF, I've just run into many times the shows over the years, the Black Bear shows and all that in Brooklyn. And
where were you guys performing recently? You were on stage for If I Had a Chance. Where was that at?
Secret Pour
in Bushwick.
Okay,
Respect
all right.
the God was there. There was a lot.
Yeah. There was a few people
so
there.
that's a show that they do. Shout outs to the A-List Showcase. They do that on a monthly basis in Bushwick. Spot called Secret Pour. So it's lifelong. Shout outs to my man Liggy. He's another low head right there.
Nice.
But lifelong, Respect the God, DJ Cut Supreme, A Sharp, and who else makes that? Oh, Poet. So like off Poet Substratum. So he's another Jersey head.
Lord Seal was there, which is...
Seal was there. Seal was in the
Nice.
house. Seal be spinning out there sometimes. Toshi was spinning that night
Yeah.
too.
Lord Sear spins out here in New Jersey somewhere.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
brother Lito invites me every week.
Yeah,
Shout
out
out to
there
the
in
brother Lito.
Harrison.
On Wednesdays, I believe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's,
That's where he did his birthday.
Right? It's a brewery or
I mean,
something.
I've been invited, but I haven't.
Yeah, that's.
I
where
haven't
he did-
gone yet either, but I will go. Lito, I love you. Thank
You
you
didn't
for
come with us
inviting
the
me.
last time for his birthday. You weren't there with us.
No.
Oh, wow.
Wednesday, bro. I'm
No. It was on his birthday. It was on a Saturday, and there was a bunch of low heads. We did the show, and I thought you were gonna pop out with us. We did the show. He came, or he said he was gonna come, whatever. But I know I seen him afterwards. I know I went with my wife. Max Lowe was there with his wifey and shit.
No, I don't
Yeah.
recall. I feel like I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
recall
Anyway,
why I
yeah,
didn't go.
yeah.
Seal's a good DJ though.
But he
because
was
be
Lord
spinning the
Seal was spinning
classics.
that night. Yeah. No, he spun in the. I had to tell him, like, I had to pull him something like, yo, you are fucking killing shit. He's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, he's just
Why you didn't invite him to the
whatever.
show?
Huh?
Why you didn't invite him to the show?
I was kind of drunk. I ain't even gonna lie. I was drinking.
Tell him that's a weak excuse. See,
That is a weak excuse.
Nah,
You know,
Tell him that's a weak
It is.
excuse.
Maybe he did. Maybe
I
he
probably-
offended
maybe he did, you know.
maybe I mumbled it like, yeah, you wanna come to my show? He probably looked at me like, yeah, whatever, fool.
what the drunk ass shit?
It was because
Yeah.
of Lord Seal that I got on the Bobito and Stretch shit.
Yeah.
Be
Nice.
an intern at Epic Street, but Don Teak had a deal with Epic
Yeah.
Street, and we just happened to see him there, and he got us on the Bobito. So I said he remembered me, I remember him, and I
That's
gave him a
dope.
shout out on stage on the freestyle.
Shout out to
That's
Seal,
right.
man.
That's
He
dope.
Definitely, like, I knew him for
Good grip.
And shout out to Bobito and Stretch, man. Such
Yeah,
a
for
classic
Indeed.
time
Yeah.
in our essence.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lord Sear. Lord Sear, the invitation is open. Lito,
Absolutely.
come
Come
up
through,
with
baby.
him. Y'all all come through.
Yeah.
We have a dope
100.
show, hip hop show and stuff. I want to talk New York Rhyme Exchange, but before we get to that, let's stick with the production talk for just a second.
Cool.
This album that you produced most of, who would you consider your biggest production influence? And I ask this because the production it's like laid back, but it's also layered, and it's like it's very mood music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just
Word.
gonna say that. Yeah, you have to. It has a certain mood to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of what I'm listening for, it needs to be melodic to a degree. It needs to start to tell a story on its own that allows for me to write to it. You know what I mean? So like a lot of what I'm listening for when I'm going through records, when I'm just browsing trying to find music, is something that already has a certain layer of depth to it. A lot of what I did particularly on this album, is mostly loop based.
Yeah.
So while there are some layers in different areas, there's definitely certain tracks where I mostly let the track do what it does. You know what I
Right.
mean? But I formulate it in a way where I know I can tell the story I want to tell to it.
Right.
So yeah, man. I mean, as far as influences are concerned, I definitely think that for me personally, I mean, I'm a Queens head. The biggest influence for me musically coming up, both from the perspective of production and MCing, was a Tribe Called Quest. So I would definitely say Q-Tip is an influence on me. I wouldn't
I can hear that.
necessarily, I wouldn't put him at the top of, like, I think when we're talking greatest producers, I'm thinking Premier first. I'm thinking Pete Rock is up there too as an influence, I think, as well though. But like, you know what I'm saying, it's not necessarily the same exact people that are influences to me.
Right.
Like, because my sound is a little bit more, I want to take that melodic approach. I want to have that mellow vibe to my music. And I want to have some drums that slap too. So I'm always listening for drums. But Large Professor is another one who I think, like, his sound kind of helped shape, what I do. Definitely influenced the way that I listen for production. I mean, I don't want to keep it all Queens, but like Havoc is another one. Like, it is what
It's
it is.
okay. It's Queens Day. That's all right. Yeah.
Don't worry, 10 shots is all Queen shit.
And Queens get the money, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Shout out to the brother Mikey D from Queens who was
Yeah,
up
he
here a
was
few
up
weeks
here.
ago.
Yep.
Good brother,
Dope
man.
main source. Yeah.
Yeah,
Shout out to
man.
Mikey D.
On the album, especially on maybe like the first, I want to say 2 tracks, you're like talking to us. Your rap style is, on these 2 tracks in particular, is very
Conversational.
conversational.
Yeah.
Was that done on purpose?
I think it was just the the vibe that I got from the record.
From the beat?
Yeah. Well, that's generally how I write. I know a lot of people sometimes, they may rhyme to like a click track or something and try to formulate the beat around it. I'm kind of the opposite. As a writer, I like to let the beat dictate what I do. Sometimes I'll start with a hook, like I want to get the vibe right before I really figure out the direction that I want to go. Those 2 tracks, I mean, if you talk about, I don't want to talk too much about the sample, I'm not supposed to do that, but it's an Axl Rod record on the first joint, and it's like the pianos were speaking to me. Right?
Yeah.
Like just them clean drops, right? That doom 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 doom. It made me want to talk.
Right.
Yeah.
It made me want to talk.
And you're talking some real stuff on there.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Real life adult man stuff.
Hey, this is where
Family
I'm at.
man stuff.
Yeah,
no,
that's
like,
where
the
I'm at
first
in my
thing-
life.
Like what you said in "Be All Right," which is the first track. You said just a member in the grand scheme of the equation, and dying for a third. Dying for wait. It says. Oh shit! I can't see shit because I don't have my glasses on.
Speaking of real grown men,
Dying of thirst. They hand us a poison canteen
Right.
in desperation. We sip, embrace the taste. Well,
Embracing the taste on our lips, swallowing pride. Yo, it's making me sick.
When you said
that's
that,
deep.
when you said that, I was like, yo, I feel that almost like on a daily basis, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause it's crazy. Like it's amazing. Like you're just a number in the grand scheme of things, and
exactly.
you take what they feed you. You know what I'm saying? And then they kind of make you like, yo, this is what you got.
That's how most people kind of tend to operate, and they don't even they're not cognitive of the fact that you're carrying on like in a routine that really has you just kind of like right where you're gonna be.
Yeah,
right? Not a lot of room for growth, not a lot of room for expansion.
No.
Not a lot of room for free thought. Like we in the election era right now, so I mean all the free thought is being streamlined into a couple of directions. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm supporting
the whole
have
election.
brothers like CF, man.
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
Absolutely.
Stand up and talk
That
about
election
something.
is becoming a
It's a fucking clown show, yo.
it's
it is.
bullshit, bro.
The Roman Circus. I'm gonna shout out my man Mario Life Major. He made a shirt. The Roman Circus is a concept of really just kind of keeping the populace entertained with shit that don't matter. So that they can build their empire. And and it's got like president faces on the back of the shirt with clown faces on it. I had to cop that from him when I seen
That
him.
sounds dope, and it sounds true because that's exactly how they operate. You know what I mean? Even there's like it's like a meme, but it's a vocal meme, right? I guess it's somebody saying like, yeah, keep them entertained and they won't revolt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And they show the ancient Greek Colosseums and today's football fields and how they're just the same thing, bro. People are distracted and they're becoming weaker and less rebellious, bro. We need the billion-man rebellion.
Yes, sir.
Where is that?
Shout out to BMR. Peace to Dante.
Yes, man, because Jesus.
Yeah, we gonna need that.
Now, talk to me about the New. Oh, wait. Before we get to the New York Rhyme Exchange, let's stay on the production style for just a second. What is your equipment of choice for production?
So I have a couple of pieces. The primary thing that I really believe it or not, a lot of what I put together, like my bass structures in, is Audacity. Believe it or not, because that was the first thing that I found that was available. I actually got it when I got a turntable that had like a USB, right? And I was like, okay, well I could get records onto, and there's the program that they gave, it was a free program. I started just kind of realizing what I wanted to do with the records, just to set like a bass structure, and so mostly what I'll use is Audacity, but I'll also I have an MPC. Not the live. I can't believe I don't even know the name of the studio. MPC Studio is what I rock with. That's one thing that I'm just kind of learning how to chop in a little bit more. I do need to make the time to master it again. I think I said this off air, but like I really approach the beat making from the perspective of a writer, right? I'm just listening to what I can rap to. Yeah. And with that in mind, you know what I'm saying? Like as long as I could get it to a point where I'm arranging the song in the way that I want it to go, I'll let the pen do the rest. But I definitely, I have the desire a little bit more right now to get deeper into the MPC and just really like learn how to chop things at a capacity where I want to do some things that are a little more original in terms of the sound that I'm creating and create a little bit more of my own niche. Because right now my niche is a little bit more like the records I love. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
And what led to, you said you started producing around 2018 with the Alex project,
Right.
but you already had a bunch of projects out by then. So
Yeah.
what led to your desire to want to produce and then also produce your own music?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was just something, I don't know exactly what light bulb went off from. I think that it was my man Kesper, who I was working on Honorable Exchange 1 with probably at that time.
Yeah, shout out to the brother Kesper.
Yeah.
Indeed, shout outs to Kesper, Jackson Heights, New York, Honorable. Yeah, so he would sometimes like we was putting together like mixtape stuff on the side of what we were doing on our own, and he always kind of like for his EPs he likes to have shit that's kind of out there but not really out there in terms of like instrumental. So he's not really just jacking an instrumental, but he'll take like an interlude. I remember he took an interlude from like an Apollo Brown joint, and he's like, this is the part we're gonna rap to, and he started flipping it, and that kind of like made me think like, damn, that it's easy to find something that I like that I just hear, because I've always heard shit. I'm like, damn, you can rap to that.
Yeah.
But I've never really thought of structuring it and piecing it together myself. I'm talking about like I'm watching a movie or whatever, and I hear something. The whole Flozark project that I did was all based off of samples from season 1 of Ozark, because I kept hearing shit.
Yeah.
And, I was
And they
like,
got dope shit, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
their
yeah.
score or whoever's doing their musical composition was
Yeah, they were in that
killer
bag.
shit.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I put out a whole EP with production from
yeah,
just
Flozark.
Flozark,
I like
yeah,
that. I like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So so it was just like that hearing something, and you know what? I don't want to wait for nobody. I don't want to ask nobody to flip nothing for me. Let me just try my hand at it. Let me see what I can do with it. And you know, when I figured out a pattern that worked, I hit the ground running. Like I think in the next year or so from when I started, I had put out like 4 beat tapes.
Yeah?
Nice.
Yeah.
Self-taught?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Self-taught to that degree. I'm trying to get my brother to teach me some cool shit, because he know a lot more than me.
That's right. He's the producer.
Yeah, he the producer. Yeah, I'm gonna put him on blast right
Have
now.
you,
know he's got-
Big brother. What's up?
Have you produced for anybody else besides yourself?
Absolutely. I mean, I've got a couple of joints here and there. My man Greasy, just put out a record that I have a joint on called Sweet Catalyst. He killed that record. I did do a whole EP for my man Blue Legacy from Far Rockaway, Queens. Shout outs to Blue Legacy. It's called King Size, the name of that EP. So that was the first, I think the only project at this point that I've fully done for someone else other than myself.
But you're open to produce a full project for someone else?
Yeah, I did.
Because I know this rapper that he dropped like 6 projects this year alone, and he's always just rapping his ass off looking for beats and shit. He probably, you know what I mean? Probably drop an album.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Shit. I got, the thing is, I haven't been as active. You know, like I said, when I first started, I want to say in that first like few weeks, I made like at least 75 beats.
When you got the fever and
when
shit.
I got the fever,
Yeah.
I went hard. And I haven't really kept with it like that. I think during the pandemic, it kind of switched for me, where it was more like, well, obviously, first off, we got to get our lives together. And,
we gotta see
figure
how
out
we're gonna
what's
survive,
next.
yeah.
What's next. But you know, when I did start getting creative again, you know, through that experience, it was more with the pen.
Yeah.
And
It's got to be hard balance though, right? Like,
of course, everything in life is a balance.
To want to make a beat, and you're a rapper, so I mean, I picture rappers just their brain don't stop. Their brain don't stop fucking running. So anytime you see something, hear something, you're like, oh, that's a bar. I can put this in the rap. Boom, boom, boom. And it's like, how do you divide the time? Because you're also a father, you're also a family man, you probably also got a career.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you got 4 spare hours a day, that's a blessing, first of all.
Yeah.
And then you're like, damn, I want to make this beat. I got the sample I want to chop up, but damn, I already got this beat I want to write to. So what the fuck am I going to do?
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to find the time.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing about it is I feel like there's so much of that shit that I just kind of like, I've let so many beats just kind of like fly away, float into the abyss and shit.
Yeah.
And you know, there are times where I feel like I'm not productive, right? Like I dropped 2 projects so far this year. Hoping to get a 3rd out before the end of the year. We'll see how that flows. But I have so much material that has accumulated over just years and years of consistently, you know, working and writing. And but there are times where I hit my lows where, you know, like I just put this album out, but maybe I didn't, write nothing for the last 2 months. And to me, that feels insane.
Right.
Like I gotta write something before I lose my mind.
Yeah,
it's just like a creative type of. It's an outlet that many of us who are creatives, we need to express. There's a certain need to express ourselves. But everybody has a different approach towards it, right? So I think I mentioned, rest in peace to the good brother Kyle offline a little bit earlier. I did mention, but I seen a clip of him speaking recently where he's talking about how his process was very slow. You know what I mean? Like, but that was intentional. He wanted to make sure that he took his time with it and that pretty much every bar counted. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't wasting a breath. I mean, you could hear that with his music, and that's what resonated with me as a listener. It's hard with how much comes out now to really like zoom in on one person and say that person got it, and I'm checking for everything they do. I want to be that for somebody. I know that I am that for a handful, because you see it as an artist too, especially when you're independent. You know where your shit is moving. But you know what I mean? Like as a listener, I'm a little more critical, right? Because I like a lot of shit. I'm cool. Most people that know me, they know that I'm pretty cool with everybody on the scene. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going over there to be supportive. I'm not only showing up to my own shit. You know what I mean? Like I'm coming out, I'm rubbing elbows and being there for my people. But as a whole, you know what I mean? Like what really separates you from the crowd? It's, you know what I mean? Like for me, it was dope to hear an MC talk about how he was like almost offended by the fact that when somebody says, oh, I just threw that shit together real quick, right? Yeah. He's like, what you mean? Like, I'm doing this for the betterment of the culture.
Yeah, you're not respecting the craft.
Right. Well, but that's his perspective. And on the flip side, you might have somebody that's a genius like a Jay-Z who is, just able to kind of like, say it once in his head and then remember it enough to come up with the next few lines and just like kind of work it in a different space and flow.
See, but that's the thing. I hate that I kind of hate sometimes that we know that about Jay-Z.
Right.
Because now everybody thinks that they have to do that to be like Jay-Z. Oh, I don't write rhymes. I just spit freestyle.
Yeah, people use it as a flex, but really it's
you're
just...
You're a fucking clown. Your shit sounds like shit, bro. Write some shit down. Maybe you'll be more creative.
Right. And you don't sound like Jay-Z.
And you're not Jay-Z. Not everybody's Jay-Z. There's only one of them. Right. That's it,
Same
bro. Let it go.
Individuality is something that seems to be lacking. I mean, there's so much repetition and so much, you call it a copycat league, right? Where everybody's just kind of doing what they see working for everyone else.
And that's the thing, man. We didn't come from that. Like, biting was prohibited. You couldn't bite.
Yeah, it was the cardinal sin of rap.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
You got to be prepared, right? You got to be nice, or don't say nothing. And you got to be original. You gotta have your own sound. You gotta have your own style. You gotta have something about you that sets you apart. And
and you gotta have a dope name. Because back in the days, if your name was trash, they wouldn't even let you rap.
That's a fact.
Back in the days, they might not fuck with Lex. Lex, I got a cousin Lex.
Lex is cool, but what if your name was Lil Pump?
No, Lil GD7493, some shit. I'll be like, yo, what name is this? These rappers come out with, man.
Nah, man, come on.
But still, shout out to y'all, because
hey, I mean,
everybody got to do their own thing, and everybody got their own flavor, and every generation got their own style.
Exactly. Everything ain't for everyone. That's true. Just not for me. Whoever appreciate it, y'all do you.
There's people out there that love it, and hey, rock on, man. Let's get into New York Rap Exchange.
Or Rhyme Exchange.
Rhyme Exchange, excuse me. Yeah. That is a collective of what?
MCs. I mean, primarily New York Rhyme Exchange. It's not as active as it used to be. It's still family, still friends. We talk to each other. We got the group chat on IG and all that. So shout outs to New York Rhyme Exchange. But so it's a collective of crews from back in the era that I was talking about earlier, when me and CF was rocking like the underground circuit back there, 2005, 6, 7. We used to do the Bowery Poetry Club through my man Zeps. Shout out to Zeps. Zeps is New York Rhyme Exchange. He's from Brooklyn. He's in California, raising his beautiful family right now. Shout out to my brother Zeps. Shout out to him. It was my crew, Sinister Circle, which is myself, my brother Enoids, another producer of ours, Ra Aguilar, and my man Snake Eyes, who was the other MC in the group. And then we had the KNY, which is a crew out of Brooklyn. So Sinister Circle was out of Queens. The KNY was out of Brooklyn. That was my man Sway Jury and Amen Almighty. Swade was also a producer, but he was a rapper. Amen was an MC. And the Midnight Specialists, my man from Washington Heights and my other man from Brooklyn. Tay One, producer. MC was the master, Shadow the master. And just collective of dudes that was nice. We all kind of like were on the same wavelength in terms of like, you know, what we were trying to do with the music and also just personality wise, you know what I'm saying? You know, we got together and we started doing crew joints and they just started, you know, becoming regular and you know what I'm saying? Like that was the clique that we were running with. So
dope. Shout out to that, man.
Dope.
It's dope when creatives can unite and combine talents and kind of continue to create, but now because it's more y'all, like it's you know, it's just more fun, bro. And steel sharpens steel and iron sharpens iron and
that's
everybody
dope.
gets
That's always
better
dope,
with
that collaborative atmosphere where all of y'all are on, like you said, you're all on the same wavelength, y'all spitting the same, not the same shit, but figuratively, you guys are on the same level.
Shit that works well together, right?
Yeah.
And they all had their own style. That's one thing I'll always be proud of with New York Rhyme Exchange. When one of us come on after the other, we don't sound like the same person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's the other thing you hear, like, damn, that's fucking dope.
Yeah.
I can't do that, but I got to do something equally dope.
Yeah.
Right.
You know
Well,
what
if
I'm
you
saying?
think about Wu-Tang, right? Wu-Tang
Right.
has such a collage of styles, right?
Absolutely.
That makes like you think of something when you hear Wu-Tang. Mostly you kind of think of RZA just because he had the backbone structure for a lot of the early stuff. But you think of a sound, but that sound is a culmination of many sounds, many styles.
Yeah, and you think of all the Wu-Tang artists, they were all so different.
They were unique, exactly.
Mad different.
You talk about ODB and you know
Just
what I'm saying?
all of them
Method Man.
super different, yo.
Just you're going from up to down, calm to hype, and it was real dope.
Even like when Ray and Ghost clicked up, you know what I'm saying? And then they also had Capadonna and shit. All three of them were still mad different.
Right.
Alike in many ways, but still super different from each other.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
what they did was beautiful, man. They made at least 3 classic albums out of that. You know, like first pairing, you know, of the three of them.
Yeah, and they also, to me, like the three of them had their own language.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They spoke certain shit. They said
Ravioli
certain
bars
things.
and shit.
Right. It was crazy, yo. Like
It was.
That was. To
It
me
wasn't
was
like anything else.
Yeah, that's what made them so unique and so revered, in my opinion. Like that's why they're unforgettable, in my opinion.
Yeah,
You know,
they are.
they're indelible in hip hop.
They were on that Wu Gambino shit.
Yeah,
but also like just style wise too. It wasn't only the sound with those brothers in particular. Like Wu was a look, right? Wu was like these dudes just look grimy, right? They look like they're
At first, right.
Yeah. You catch them on, they catch you on the ferry, they might hit your pockets. That's what it looked like, right? That was the vibe.
That was the truth, I think.
I'm sure it was, but particularly when you talk about Ray and Ghost and Kappa and like, you know, the multicolored wallows and like just the colors, it was bright.
Like I always think, in my opinion, I always think of those 3 album covers. Cuban Link, which it was like yellow and purplish, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then
Yellow
you think
and
of
red
Iron
and
Man,
purple.
where they had all the different wallabies. They had on the Nautica jackets, the Avrexes, and all that shit. And then you think of the Capadonna album, where it was black and white.
Right.
And the
He's
only
kneeling
thing
down.
that was yellow, I think, was either the bat or the Wu
Or
insignia.
the logo. I think it might have been the logo.
Yeah, that was it. But that, to me, stylistically, it was amazing.
They went well together because you put the 3 records next to each other and you're like, this shit is fly.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And that's
super
what I
dope
mean
to
when
me,
I talk about like just their style.
Yeah.
They were, you got to be visual too in this game. You know what I mean? And they do a good job.
Yeah, that shit was amazing.
Yeah, shout out to the Wu, first of all. Shout out to Ghost, Ray, and Kappa. And I was listening to, there's a Wu song from the first album, the one that Raekwon says, hitting you like ding ding, some shit. Now I'm sure to get you
Seven
off on
Chamber,
like 6
yeah.
Yo, shout out to the RZA, bro. Because the way he knew how to put who after who.
Yeah.
And in that song in particular, the way he would start their verses a little bit, like if it was a DJ chopping it up.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, that
he would
song
stop the track and it would be just a sample playing or whatever.
And like Jizza, Old Dirty, I think he did it with he did it with a few of them, but that shit was fire. Also, shout out to the Wu, who recently had an ice cream truck parked out
outside of
Madison Square
MSG,
Garden for the Knicks debut game, which I believe they lost, but A lot of games to go, y'all. A lot of games to go. Shout out to the Knicks. But it was dope that they had they won the home opener.
They won the home
yeah?
opener.
Oh, so maybe they won that game.
Yeah.
They had the ice cream truck out there to celebrate the opening season for the Knicks and the Woo Nike Dunk drop coming next month. So whoever gets those,
That's a dope box.
send me a pair, please.
The honeycomb box, that shit is dope as hell.
That's a beautiful sneaker. I remember that shit from when they first dropped.
Yeah.
Just the little Woo logo. That shit looked good on everything, right?
Yeah.
Especially in the 90s.
Yeah.
But yeah, the dunks.
They didn't get them. Wu-Tang didn't get Wu-Tang dunks when they first dropped.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of them didn't get a pair, which is hilarious.
They paying it forward now.
So now they all got their pairs at their Las Vegas residency. Shout out to Cinnamon Jones. She delivered each of them their pairs.
Oh, that's what's up. That's dope.
So shout out to her and shout out to them, bro, and shout out to Nike for being fucking smart enough to do.
Finally,
you know, and shout out to my man in China who's gonna make my replica pair, so I don't gotta pay these ridiculous prices. You know what I mean? Shout out to you, my brother.
Shout out to Brother Ling.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to the New York Rhyme Exchange. Was there ever a project? Did you guys ever drop a group project? And is that still an option?
Where's your symphony?
Ha ha ha. We had joints. We were doing a lot of performances. We never put out an official project. We did have a couple of like mixes. Like I remember we had a sampler that we would that we had pressed on some CDs, and we used to give those out. Like we gave those out at the Puerto Rican Day Parade and shit. Like we would get around and just, you know, if we seen you at a show and you were showing us love or whatever, like we'll throw you the sampler. So there was a sampler. If you have one of those, man, that shit is. I don't have one of those.
That's rare.
Yeah, that's a rarity out there.
Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, that was we did have that. But there were talks for a long time about putting something together. You know what? I don't know, because only a handful of us are regularly active. I do think all of us still have the talent. I do think that it's not an impossibility.
Right.
You know
it's
what I mean?
still
Like
on the table somewhere.
Yeah, we still talk to each other, you know.
Good,
so,
man. I look forward to hopefully one day hearing that.
I'm gonna start pulling them in a little bit one by one on you know, features and all that.
You're gonna
so.
start sending out the bat signal?
Yeah.
Come on, let's go.
Sound right.
Yes,
Sound about
sir.
right.
And shout out to a brother you mentioned a little while ago, Life
Liggy Long.
Liggy Long. Yes,
Yeah.
we got to get that brother up on this show as well.
For sure.
Cool cat. I met both of y'all brothers at the Brooklyn show with. It was supposed to be Boo Boo, but he was sick. He actually got really sick at that time.
Yeah.
Who ended up being there?
This was at Kingsland? I think it was at Kingsland.
It was the one.
Right? It was outside because I was there with Max.
I don't remember. Yeah.
Max Lowe.
Yeah.
Red Inf performed with UFO Feeve. Reno RX performed.
Yeah.
Nice to Future performed. Blizz from Juice, my favorite rap name, performed.
Okay.
And a couple other people. It was a really dope show.
That is a dope rap name.
Yeah. yeah. And there's a rapper out there now called The Real Nutso. So I fuck with both of them. I don't even gotta hear y'all music. I just fuck with y'all.
90s influence.
Yeah, y'all won, bro.
Nutso, another Queens.
He's from Queens, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
dope.
what's up. Even better.
He used to be Nutrageous back in the days. Nutrageous was his original name. Yeah.
Nah, Nutso's way cooler.
Nah, definitely. But at that time, you know, like that's when that shit was a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that he got the copyright strike. He must have.
Yeah.
That's when he switched to Nutso back in the days.
I like
He's from
Nutso.
Flushing, man. Shout outs to
Gotta get him on the show,
Nutso
man. He's
Latimer.
dope.
Yeah, shout out to
KME and
all
all
the
them.
Queens legends, bro.
Hell yeah.
See the
man.
Cuban.
You know what I like about Queens? Other than that they've birthed so many hip hop legends and greats and everything. There's mad stories in Queens, bro. And there's mad books that are now coming out and have been coming out for maybe like the last 10 years or so. There's a book I believe called Queens Reign Supreme. That's fire. There's a book on Fat Cat Nichols, I believe.
Yeah.
Fire.
I heard about that, yeah.
I don't know if Kevin Childs is from Queens, the founder of Don Diva. I don't recall, but there's a book on him, fire. There's so many fire books coming out that are just telling the old stories of Queens and the hustlers and the crews and the streets and the hip hop. And
basically, where all these dope rappers got all these
stories,
stories from, yo.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Shout out to that, man. Do you feel any sort of pressure coming out of Queens as a Queens MC?
I feel an obligation to be nice. I wouldn't say I feel necessarily pressure, because you from where you from. You don't really pick that, not at birth at least. You know what I mean? Not for a long time at least. You from where you from.
But I like that you say an obligation.
Yeah, if you're gonna represent it, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't.
And the bar is up here for Queens.
I can't be out here shouting Queens and then what I'm bringing is weak.
Some dookie.
Exactly. I mean, it comes from a long legacy. I mean, you think of like, you could easily fill up a top 5 of Queens rappers and be like, that's my top 5 period.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can say like a top 10, maybe top 15.
Yeah.
If we go through the history of Queens.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different styles out of Queens, right? When you think about like a Pharaoh Monks, right? Just organized confusion as a whole. They had their own thing. It was kind of spaced out, but it was like it was so vivid, right? The way that they wrote shit. Then you have like a Beat Nuts, who's like just like this funky kind of like
almost like fun loving.
Funny, but at the same time, there's a comedic but raw. And sometimes filthy.
And sometimes dark.
Who's that? Akinelli.
He was on that.
That was filthy.
He was filthy.
But fire.
Homeboy Sandman from Queens, right?
Homeboy Sandman.
Yo, Homeboy Sandman is one of my favorite rappers that I always forget he's one of my favorite rappers.
He's just a...
Yeah, he's dope. Yeah,
like when I come across him, I'll be like, damn, I forgot. This cat is nasty, bro.
Boy Sanders is a genius. Like one of those dudes that like... I use it enough when I think about artists that I love and respect, but it's not something that I'll say without actually meaning it. Homeboy Sandman is a genius.
Yes.
Like when you listen to the different types of topics that he'll cover and the way that he just kind of puts bars together, words together, his thought process is different. Homeboy Sandman is from Elmhurst, Queens, and he went to the same. It's funny because I was looking through my old junior high school yearbook. And I remember, Tall Kid being in another class, Angel, and it turned out when I was looking through, I was like, holy shit, I never realized Angel was Homeboy Sandman.
No,
it's crazy. You know what I mean? So, like,
damn.
So he's from Queens.
Nice. From Queens, you don't notice Shock G from
Digital Underground? Yeah.
I did not know that.
And
I did
DJ
Mugs, too. Mugs I didn't know about.
Yeah, I knew.
Damn, I didn't know Shock G. Rest in peace, Shock G.
Rest in peace to Shock G.
about it, like in his
That's fire. And then
some interviews that he was mainly where he got his hip hop.
Yeah.
Upbringing from Queens, where he was raised at, and then he moved back to Florida, then eventually made it
back to the Bay over there.
Nice.
Oh, wow. Shit, man. Shout
That's
out
dope.
to that,
Yeah,
bro.
Shock G was,
probably him
man.
and Pop were able to connect
Because of the East Coast roots.
Yeah,
right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Queens always takes me back, or better yet, my first Queens exposure that I can recall was the what you mentioned earlier, the symphony, but the video, right? Because when we were young, I guess Video Music Box or wherever it was playing.
Yeah.
That fucking video to me back in the day was like a movie.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit.
Swing the doors open in the saloon.
Yeah. And then they all come in with their costumes and I think is Cool G Rap on that song?
Yeah, G-Rap,
yeah.
Big Daddy Kane.
Big Daddy Kane, yeah.
Craig G.
Yeah.
Master Ace. That was Master Ace debut.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a big Master Ace fan.
Yeah, me too. I love Master Ace, yo. He's super dope, bro.
Underrated MC out of Queens.
He has
he's out of Brooklyn, actually.
He's out of Brooklyn, yeah. He's out of Brooklyn, yeah.
Matter of fact, yeah, he did have an album, I think, called Vampire in Brooklyn recently. That was like what's it called? A theme album? No. A concept album. Yeah, about a vampire moving from Canada to Brooklyn. Yo, some crazy shit.
No, but that's dope, though. Like,
no,
that's
it's fire. Yo, the album is fire, though.
Yeah. Nah, Master Ace has always been dope.
Yeah. He doesn't get the props he deserves, I don't think. I want to say he might have like 2 or 3 albums that should be considered classic, but for whatever reason they're not.
Yeah, only by the people that really hold them close.
Really know, yeah.
Slaughterhouse is amazing.
Slaughterhouse is dope. My shit was actually the joint after that, the INC album, Master Ace and Corporate, Sitting on Chrome.
Yeah.
Sitting on Chrome was...
Sitting on Chrome.
And all of them are concepts to a degree.
Yeah.
And what he did with Sitting on Chrome was he made this story of his cousin coming from LA to come hang out on the East Coast for a summer. But he brought like that West Coast personality. So he was in Brooklyn just wilding out like one of them Compton dudes. and it made for like that's how they approach the music too, right? Like when you think about what's the big one they had with the thumping bass where they had like the cars and the
Jeep ass nigga.
Yeah.
But the remix though, remember where that he had the West Coast beat on it?
Exactly, and he has like the lowriders in the video and all that.
But that one is amazing too, though.
So yeah, and that album kind of had that feel on a lot of.
That's one of my favorite Master Ace joints ever.
Yeah,
I love that
crazy track. The video was cool.
What year was that? That was like 96?
No.
Earlier?
Maybe 94.
Yeah, that was like 94, even maybe 93.
Used to roll with Lil
Possibly.
Digga.
Yeah.
Shout out to Digga also. I know that
Yeah,
Digga don't want to
shit's-
be in the same like conversations with Ace. I know they had a falling out years ago, but Digga is fucking amazing. Digga's still killing shit. The Heisman.
Yeah.
I seen Digga rock not too long ago, man. Just bodied it. Every track just flawless, one after the other. So shout outs to Lord Digga as well, man. The whole INC was dope.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Half a
sir.
mil too.
Rest in peace to
Oh,
Half a
rest
Mil.
in peace,
Brooklyn,
half a mil. Yes.
Yep.
You mentioned being at a show recently. You go to mad shows.
I do.
Hit the circuit.
Do you have like that you can recall like a favorite show you've been to?
Favorite show that I've been to is funny because I was having this conversation recently, so it's fresh in my mind. Definitely, I want to say it must have been somewhere between 99 and 2001. In that era, De La Soul had a show at the Roxy that had Freddie Fox, MOP, Common. It was a weird lineup, but they were all dope. Like they're all very like De La style too. Like you get like the Maceo kind of tough vibe, and then you get like the like the
flower power.
Yeah, exactly. So, but their flower power always thump. Like
I fucking love De La.
De La is notorious for like
Fucking people
getting busy
ass.
when they need to. So shout outs to De La Soul, rest in peace to Dave.
rest in
But
peace,
so that show, De La took mad long to show up, right? We was in there, one act after the other, all the openers, but everybody that was rocking was like dope. But as they were taking long, people were coming in to fill the time. So we had like Kweli show up and do a set. I think Charlie Brown from Leaders of the New. Like it was just different people that were coming in and kind of filling
Like
the
random
time
people.
until they showed up. And then they showed up, I want to say sometime like maybe 1 a.m., 2 a.m. It was dumb late. And
That's
especially
mad hip hop, right?
Especially back then, right? But back then, though, like a spot like the Roxy, you're paying per hour, and they usually close on time. You know, it's like one of those SOBs type shows where it's not just like whatever goes.
It's not the tunnel.
All night,
Right. So over there, as the show was going on, finally De La comes to the stage and they announced that Pastor New's son was just born in the hospital. That was the delay. And then they started their set, and the energy on that show is probably like unlike anything I've ever seen before. Like that is my favorite.
They had that new life energy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
they
that birth.
came with that like
miraculous.
you guys
shit,
are
bro.
gonna witness us at our best right now.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
because
dope.
so and that's what we got.
We don't realize it because it happens every day. Yo, childbirth is a fucking miracle, bro.
It is.
And
Absolutely.
to witness it and be there, and if you have your homies there with you, you're like, holy shit.
Nah,
bro. That
it's
shit gives
amazing.
you
I saw all three of my kids pop out, and it was
a
amazing.
newfound energy, bro.
Amazing.
Quick question. When people talk about the Roxy back in the day and shows at the Roxy, is that the same Roxy we would go to later on in life? Yeah.
Same place.
I think at some point it was a roller rink and everything too, though. That's
It was. Yeah, I think it might have been.
It started as a roller.
Yeah, it was because it was pretty big inside. It was
Yeah,
a
it was
big.
big.
It was just a
Right.
big hall. It was just
Exactly.
an open big hall. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And at one point, when we might have went, they put a bar in the middle. Right in the middle.
dope. They did that at Webster Hall too.
Yeah. They put a bar right in the middle, so everybody had to go to the middle, and then the dance floor and everything else was on the outside.
Yeah.
But it was the same spot.
Yeah, same spot.
Okay,
Same
interesting. Because that spot never struck me as a hip hop performance venue.
Yeah, you know what?
But
It wasn't
again, I wasn't-
necessarily like big for hip hop. Like hip hop at that during
But I
that
hear a lot
era,
of stories about the Roxy. The Roxy.
Yeah.
I think whatever shows they had just all turned out
They
to
was
be
on
good.
fire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
If you was performing, there was a big deal.
Yeah.
because there's a big space. Right?
It was. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
kind of a big club. Yeah.
So, but like back then, it was like Tramps was one of the spots. The
Right.
the wetlands.
The wetlands,
Yeah.
Black Quarter.
But so all right. So a spot like the Wetlands to me was like a hip hop spot,
Right.
Like a
That's-
hip hop target place. Like you want to go perform at the Wetlands. I never went to the Wetlands,
Right.
mind you. But Roxy I never saw it like that.
No?
Like it was separate.
No, it wasn't like that. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like New Eureka.
Like SOBs, you'd be like, SOBs, that's a hip hop
yeah.
performance spot. Somebody's gonna go perform there and it's gonna be dope.
Well, Roxy also put on a lot of not just hip hop acts, like a lot of rock acts, punk acts, and stuff like that. So
But I
they
don't
did that.
I mean, to me, I don't know.
They weren't a
I didn't
performance.
see it as a performance venue.
Right.
Yeah. But a lot of dope shit went on
Yeah.
there, bro. And a lot of dope hip hop shit went on at non-hip hop performance venues.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, hip hop had to invade and kick the
Yeah.
door in and go in and kick some fucking ass when it first started, bro.
Yeah, some of the best shows I've seen have been at Central Park. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
But shout out to the Roxy. Shout out to all the fly, dope, old school spots that probably don't fucking exist no more. And
Yeah.
we're mad fun, yo.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Nah, I remember a dope show was at Hammerstein Ballroom, and that was the first time I ever saw what's this guy's name? Dudes from Detroit, Slum Village.
Nice.
That was the first time they performed.
In New
And-
York?
Yeah, in New York,
Yeah.
they performed a couple joints from. They only had 2 singles out at that time. It was from Fantastic,
Okay.
and they performed that. Jay Dilla was up there. Then it was Tribe Called Quest. They were the headliners. They did
Dope.
A Love Movement.
Dope.
It was so dope, man. That was one of the best shows. I took Detroit. She wasn't fucking with it. After that, she became a Tribe fan.
I can see it.
Yeah, she was a Tribe.
Tribe
fan.
is easily digestible by
She loved
even
them.
non-hip hop fans.
Yeah, she loved them.
That's
bro.
a fact.
Yeah.
Very true.
Shout out to Queens again.
And it was super dope, man. Like the sonically, what they brought to hip hop was amazing to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They say that last album, which kind of went under the radar.
What, the space program?
Uh,
Not the space program.
was on it.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service. We got it from here.
Yeah.
They say that album is like
It's really
4.5,
dope.
5 mic.
It's a dope album.
Yeah.
I love it personally.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was shortly after Phife had passed away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Funny thing, man. That shit made me emotional. Like, cause I'm obviously celebrities hold a different type of value on your life than people that you actually know.
Mm-hmm.
But Phife, to me, I've never met him.
Mm-hmm.
I knew him as a celebrity. I idolized Tribe Called Quest growing up. So
Right.
I had just found out. I want to say, I think this was 2016 or so. Couple months prior, I had found out that I was diabetic. Right. So that's when I was diagnosed, and so like shortly after, the first person I thought of in terms of like any of my heroes that are diabetic was
The
Phife
funky
Dawg.
diabetic.
I was just gonna say the funky diabetic.
Exactly. When's the
Yeah.
last time you heard a funky diabetic? So Phife Dawg, when he passed, it hurt me. It was like,
Yeah.
Sure.
damn, and it opened my eyes. Like I can't take this lightly.
You gotta
Right.
take care.
So when I heard that album for the first time, I got real emotional hearing Fife's voice again, because I knew it was probably gonna be the last time I was gonna, have the opportunity to hear it. And for me, that fan experience was something that I was kind of lacking. You know what I mean? Like I do listen to a lot. I appreciate the good in everything that I hear, but there are a few artists that really make you feel like a fan.
Yeah.
Right. And
We wasn't
they
really
were-
allowed to fan out. Our generation.
Yeah.
We was too
We
cool
were too
and
cool,
too hard.
yeah,
and
too
shit.
tough
Be like,
guy.
who that, Jay-Z? Oh, yeah.
Fuck JT.
Yeah, fuck out of here. Now I'll be like, Hova! Where's my chain at, brother? Damn, I've been waiting.
Yeah, nah.
But we had our exceptions, right? Like,
yeah.
whoever
sure.
your exception would be for you.
Yeah,
Phife
for me it
Dawg.
was Tribe.
I know a lot of people that
was Wu.
cried when Biggie died. I know people
of
that
course,
cried
of
when
course.
Tupac died.
Yeah.
When Hov or Nas passes, oh my God, this is gonna be a tragic fucking day for all.
You know,
of
and
us,
I was
bro.
thinking about that too this morning. I was listening
God
to that
forbid.
album, and I was like, yo, like, hip hop is at that age. Like, because I was thinking about Clark Kent.
Yep.
You
know what I'm saying?
Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Clark
to
Kent.
R.I.P. to Clark Kent, and I was like, damn, it's that time, yo. Like, a lot of our legends are starting to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing, that hip hop is still so young.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if you think about it, it's only 40 years old.
Right.
40 something years old.
No,
50 years old.
for a long time you'd
Relatively
be
young,
able
yeah.
to kind of like name all of the people who were significant losses to the game. At
That's
this,
what I
At this
mean.
stage, it's gonna take you a long time to get through it, because it's
Yeah.
starting to see like that.
That's what I mean, yeah.
We've had within the past couple of months.
Yeah.
You know, we've been losing a lot of very important names as far as I'm concerned. Like
Yeah.
Chino XL was brilliant.
Yeah.
Right?
Big Jersey.
Chino
Oh,
was
Beyond, bro.
Jersey legend.
Yeah.
I know CF, that was your man. I know
Yeah,
you've seen the
absolutely.
world with him.
Y'all traveled the world together.
Exactly.
huh?
Yeah,
Imagine.
that's dope.
That's not losing to CF. That's not losing a rapper.
Right.
That's losing a friend.
Yeah.
So that's deep.
Exactly.
Like a mentor, friend.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna come out with an album called Chino's Book type shit to dedicate it to him. But aside from that, like, come on, we all Hispanic kids.
Yeah, of course. We've only got but so many representatives.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
a lot of people look at Big Pun and things of that nature, no doubt. But now you have someone like Chino XO who actually filled in that slot and
Yeah.
was able to survive the Tupac onslaught and
Right.
past there. And God knows what other stuff he could have come. I know that
And
in the
some-
article it said that he had congenital heart failure.
And someone that was just so lyrically superior
Yeah.
to a lot of artists.
Yeah, he could spit like a
Like he could spit his
motherfucker, bro.
ass off, yo.
He
Like,
was so talented that I think the people that appreciated him the most were people who tried their hand at this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You
think
had
that,
to,
like,
right?
you know, like you had to kind of,
He wasn't digestible easy for non.
right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Well,
casual fan wouldn't get Chino
Yeah.
XL.
right. Maybe not, because he definitely pulled some people in with what he did because it was amazing, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But as far as like the people that most people who like Chino XL were heads because they're into lyricism, they're into clever wordplay, they're into, you know, intricate flow patterns and things like that. So like you appreciate what he does because you know how hard it is. What he
Right.
did, and we was talking about this earlier, certain flows are kind of easy to emulate. But Chino XL was not the type of rapper that you could emulate unless
at
you
all.
wanted to be fucking excellent.
Yeah.
So I think he brought that out of a lot of, like, he's one of those people that inspire more artists
Yeah.
than, you know what I
He
mean,
could compete with like
anyone.
the virtuosos like the Eminems, the
Yeah,
Kendricks,
Right.
for sure.
Yep.
He had that
Tech
rapid
Nine,
fire
and
machine.
he had
Exactly.
on records where you would be like,
Yeah.
you know, we from the East Coast, even though he was from the East Coast, our stuff is more monotone. We not-
Yeah.
Is rare exceptions. You get a Chip Fool and a Busta Rhymes,
Yeah.
but that's not the norm.
Yeah, where they're
Right.
actually playful with what they
Nas,
do.
Boom Bap, that within that 90s style.
Yeah.
So like they did things that were beyond the norm to reach levels that we were just thinking on a regional.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Pop when
Yeah.
it came left out of this region is like, I think it's too small compared
Yeah.
to that $5 and shit.
Yeah.
But what we thinking is the way we rhyme. I rhyme like Lex Nyre. Even though I could do all that,
Right.
I could like push.
Mm-hmm.
But the level of Chino XL lyricism and
No.
flexibility and agility
Mm-hmm.
is up there. I seen him do like, you know, one of them regular like a love song. He could not do a love song like you and I.
A calm.
Yeah. Right.
No,
You hear
it's
the
true.
John album, you hear me and
Nah, he wants you to feel the pain of that
Yeah.
emotion.
But then he'll put all this verbal,
Yeah.
like, you know how you be like, all right, listen, man, for this joint, I'm just going
We're gonna keep it simple.
We're gonna keep it LL.
Yeah, right.
He'll never, he's the type of person who's like, I don't know, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes I will ask him, like, because I had the time to pick his brain when we would travel extensively. And I said, yo, what's up with that triple time shit? Would you do that? He's like, that shit, that double time shit, that shit's corny. I'll do it whenever. And I'm like, but that's what you know what I'm saying? Like, it's some shit that he telling you that I would have to work extremely hard for.
And
Yeah,
to him,
to
it's
him,
easy.
it's
To him,
second
yeah.
nature. He does it without thinking.
Right.
That's why I would.
I think he was ahead of his time, bro.
Yeah. Plus,
absolutely,
to me,
absolutely.
also, like, I'm always a big advocate for words. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And hip hop is words. You know,
Right.
the ability to put string words together to make this picture, and his vocabulary. That's what caught me at first. What he was saying and the words he was using to say it.
Right.
I was like, oh shit, this dude is amazing,
He
yo.
was a Mensa member. He
Yeah.
was literally a genius.
A genius.
Yeah,
Exactly.
There was, I think last time we saw each other was I didn't go to Cali. We went to La Ciudad de Mexico. We went to Mexico City.
Nice.
And I don't know if people know this. Mexico City, the altitude is up there.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
How the fuck are you able to like do the stuff that you're doing with the
breath control.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
He was-
Yeah.
And him being the
Buff
savage-
as
He's a
hell.
big dude. Yeah.
We was in the gym working out together there too, whatever. And we had like, it's interesting when you meet legends and shit like that, and then you had actual conversations with them
Yeah.
and shit like that, bro.
It's a blessing that people often say don't meet your heroes.
Right.
True. What if he was a disappointment?
Exactly.
Like, what if he was a
dick
total
and shit?
dick?
Yeah, that would have
Yeah.
fucked
That
up.
would've fucked you
He
up.
was the polar
could
opposite.
have that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I could see Chino having that, but he would like a guy like he would like a person like Lex, because even though he could be a larger than life figure, he's still from the East Coast. He's still from Jersey, and he still has that kind of, wherever we at, we East Coast, we could be dicks, but at the same time, we could actually be
good people.
matter of fact, and just like
Yeah.
look at people, see through that shit. So
Yeah.
he was in that Cali Hollywood shit, but he could know that down to earth shit.
He was
Yeah.
genuine.
Yeah.
He's genuine.
That's the
So,
thing
yeah.
about a lot of us
Regular.
East Coast, Jersey, New York, 90s hip hop heads. Like, yo, we still grew up with fucking morals, bro. We
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
knew right
Yeah,
from
yeah.
wrong, and our
Yeah,
parents
absolutely.
would still chancleta us upside the head if we did some
Hell yeah.
bullshit, bro.
Yeah, exactly, right.
And
yeah.
I think even just with the music that we all listen to, like a lot of what kind of appealed to us, it was always that straight shooter shit. Right? Like we're not beating around the bush. We're gonna say what shit actually is. Hip hop always had that rebellion in it. And I think that those of us that came up with that mindset tend to just kind of look at things a little bit differently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He
So
was a real like you see how Lex is a real hip hop head. Lex is a real hip hop head.
No, yeah.
He'll
Yeah,
show
yeah.
up at your show,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and at the same time, he creates music, but he never bumped his music like, yo, y'all gotta hear. I'm here for my shit.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, nah, I'm here because I like y'all.
Yeah.
He loves the culture.
And
Yeah,
then I also,
yeah.
do shit too.
Yeah.
And Chino would appreciate shit like that.
Yeah.
Because he knew, like, this ain't no like Chino was the type of person that, because when we went on roads together, even me, he would check you like, I'm trying to see what type of motherfucker you are. Like, are you just on the dick because this is the train B, and like, or you just a regular. And then he said, oh, you like Jersey like me type shit. And he would appreciate that type of person.
Authentic.
Yeah,
Because there's not a lot of
authenticity.
that.
Yeah.
In this game, it's
Oh,
a circus.
right,
Especially
especially
now.
the higher up you go.
Nowadays, yeah, that's the other thing, yo.
It's that the no Diddy shit,
Yeah.
So like
The funny shit.
Yeah, the fun house.
Of course.
When you
The Funhouse, wasn't that your album?
Yeah, that's he's talking about all that.
No, I'm trying to remember. Yeah.
Like the narcissist.
You dropped a few albums this year, so I'm trying to remember.
Yeah,
it.
like a lot of that shit. I drop albums because I really drop albums sometimes, but niggas like Lex.
Keep up, keep up
Lex
with
is
each other.
the
And
only
Max,
nigga-
yo, Max loves you, bro.
Yeah,
Max is my nigga.
So Max, you were like a top
But
MC
when
up
I do
there.
songs, I'm thinking about like Lex, Max. Like,
Yeah.
these are niggas that
Okay.
really like music. So I'll be like, yo, I said, deadass before I do an album, like before my album you press, I'll be like,
I get the exclusives from my
Yeah,
man.
that's your
Your consultant.
no,
Like,
what's the
basically-
word? Like your gauge?
That's
Cause
the
he'll tell, like, he's a real nigga, and
Yeah.
he'll tell you like, yo, I think this shit is decent. I think that he'll never lie.
Yeah, and you need that.
You need
yeah.
that.
And I never really came across people.
I never have to lie to this guy though. His shit is dope. You know
No,
what I
this
mean?
shit is dope.
But like, we
Yeah.
No yes men shit, bro.
Nah, that's one when he asked me to do. I'm like, yo, nigga, that's light. Like, you don't realize that.
Well, I'm gonna put it in the air for both of y'all brothers. Maybe not in 2024 because the year is quickly coming to an end, but hopefully in 2025 we see some type of collaboration
Some Ray
project.
Ghost
That-
type
you
shit.
Should do a drink,
Whether-
we both looking
yeah.
like with the glasses.
Step brothers.
We got some concepts.
You know,
I did.
Get on your Bill Nye shit.
In the
there you go.
in the song, like I did mention, like we like twins are like the
Right,
2023.
23
Big-
versions of Pun and Crack when the real
Yeah.
connect.
Yeah.
And it could be some shit.
It could be, absolutely, bro.
Yeah, 100.
And we'll support that shit. Hell
Yep.
yeah.
He said light skinned Puerto Rican nigga like LEX be twinning on this track. 24
Yes,
versions of
sir.
Pun and Crack when the real connect.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? That shit, they could even
Hell
scratch
yeah.
that shit in there as a chorus.
Hell
And
yeah.
then like it'll just be about that's an interesting idea. I think.
Yeah, make it happen,
I
bro.
call it-
Don't
call it
give
specs
too
or some shit,
too many
'cause
ideas
motherfuckers
away
got-
though, man.
Yeah.
We need a skit or a interlude or something.
Yeah.
That's what Diddy
Y'all
used
do the
to He
intro.
used to be like, yo,
Ah, yeah, we can do the intro. We can do the
I
intro.
gave y'all a word. I got published.
Oh, for sure, bro.
Yeah, he really did that shit.
He
man.
did.
Talk about it a little
I
bit
added
more behind
one
the scenes.
hi-hat. Oh, I need 50%.
Yeah, I know a
50%.
couple heads that, obviously we've been in the game for so long, take shit on the low. How many Spanish motherfuckers been in the game for so long that they be
Not
like,
much,
nobody
bro.
know these
Yeah.
motherfuckers? But we just play the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine if they say if there was a fly on the
Fly on
wall,
the wall,
yeah. we are that fly on the wall.
Yeah,
dude.
absolutely. You know, I get into a lot of arguments lately, especially on YouTube, because I've posted clips where I say that Latinos had
A triple.
we had a part in the creation of hip hop. Now, mind you, I wasn't there. I don't fucking know. I'm going based off what I've studied and researched and heard people say. Karis once said it. Fat Joe said it. We had DJ Charlie Chase early on. And yo, a lot of people don't want to hear that shit, bro. And I don't know if it's a lot of black brothers or what, but they're like, yo, Latinos wasn't there. Y'all ain't do nothing. Stop trying to take credit.
Nah, well, the thing, we live in a society.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we live in a society right now that is being like kind of thrown together in a weird way. Like, we all have our worldviews through our social media lenses, where everything is either in direct correlation with the way that you think and operate, or direct contrast. Right? So we all think we're fucking right. Right? So, you know, and there's been just such a long historical kind of, you know, just unfairness in life to the African man on the other side of the world.
For sure.
That is a fact. You cannot take that away.
For sure.
So, you know, people hold, you know, their personal experiences close to their chest, and they feel protective and combative even sometimes when it comes to, you know, historically, rock and roll, everything has stolen from black culture to a degree. When you think about just the bass line of a drum, and those patterns are really kind of what allowed things to go rhythmically into like a pop culture type of world. Everything has roots in Africa. So the thing is, what people need to separate when it comes to hip hop and this culture that was really kind of like formulated out of struggle, out of poverty, right? Out of and I don't think people realize how territorially dangerous New York was back in the days, in the 70s, in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. There was just a lot of madness.
There was no budget. New York, the state itself was broke,
right?
At that time they asked the government for help, and the government was like,
"Nah, we're good."
This is an era where they were burning down, like landlords were burning down buildings in the Bronx to get the insurance money. Like this is what you were surrounded by. It was like a war zone. So to get away from that, the creativity that was like the escapism was hip hop. And the reason that hip hop is multiple elements and not just the music is because it was the different things that people were doing to come together and be a community and have fun without all this fuck shit.
In the midst of this war that was happening.
There's a lot of things like to unpack with that specifically. Like, I know Lord Jamal personally, and I've been to his crib a couple of times. Never had any issues with me. I remember accompanying their presidents who he was producing for at the time, because Don Teek was signed to Epic Street, and he was, I don't know how the connection happened. But there was a lot of Puerto Ricans within the Dead Prez entourage.
Yeah, that's
so the narrative to change how it is now, I think that goes along with the whole evolution of what FBA become, which is Foundation of Black Americans. So it's a separate thing. Now, me and the homies and a lot of us, we look like to these people colonizers. Look at the way we look.
Of course, absolutely. Yeah.
Even though the blanquimiento, mixing of races in Puerto Rico specifically, when there was a large amount of black people, because it's the Caribbean, right? But it doesn't matter when it reaches outside of the New York City world. Because what happened in New York City between those groups stood within there. But some people, they're like, well, I didn't have that same experience. Some, not the vote, but these people, if they go outside of the New York City experience and reach out to others who don't have proximity to Caribbean Hispanics that have this blend, they don't understand that. They just look at all these colonizers claiming.
No, that's a fact.
They don't look at you and think that you might have a black cousin. But I look at you and I know that you probably do.
Just like you.
You know what I mean?
Look at Lulu. Lulu's freaking huge.
We have black DNA in us, bro.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Like, we actually were playing drums.
It's funny that you say that, because I went through that when I moved to Virginia. When I lived in Virginia,
because they're not accustomed to it.
Like, even though
they thought you was a white boy.
A lot of them that too, but a lot of them I was either white or I had to be mixed. They're like, yo, you mixed?
Probably
'Cause
like Albanian, they told you.
You're an idiot.
They don't even know where Albania
But
is.
that's a fact.
That's the difference.
When I would
Their
tell them,
worldview
they're
is so
so-
narrow.
yeah, they're so,
and this is how this,
uneducated.
it was either black,
It's
white, and
experience.
if I told them, when I told them that I was Latino, oh, you're Mexican.
Right.
Automatically,
Right.
I was like, no, there's other countries
Right.
outside of Mexico that
What happened is there's a danger for African Americans having their music stolen from other groups.
Yeah.
No, I
Yes.
get that, yeah.
Right? No doubt.
And
But
we
it
gotta respect
becomes-
that.
Right? There's that paranoia. But then it becomes more amplified when it leaves New York.
Yeah.
Right? So now these people are looking at who are these racially ambiguous motherfuckers that could end up there was that big argument when you had with what's that dude Bruno Mars. Remember?
Uh-huh.
They were
Yeah.
like, oh, he's
Hawaiian or
Yeah.
some shit.
No, he's a couple things. Puerto Rican, Hawaii.
Yeah, but when he first came out, he wasn't Puerto Rican until he got busted with some coke in a Las Vegas bathroom.
Now
Then
he's
all of a
Puerto
sudden,
Rican.
he was Puerto Rican pop star, blah, blah, blah.
Damn.
Puerto Rican and
see that
Jewish,
shit?
right? 'Cause
Yeah.
His father's half Hungarian Jewish, right?
Right.
Ashkenazi and whatever, and Puerto Rican. And then his mother's Philippine.
Yeah.
He grew
Yeah.
up in the
In Hawaii. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he rock his hair, maybe he contributed from some African lineage from his father's side, from his father's
Oh, no, that's some
mother,
Puerto
or
Rican hair,
whatever.
bro.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the Puerto Rican
But-
pushback afro,
But
bro.
they look at it as like, oh, you basically are not foundational Black American. Your family weren't slaves here in the United States. That's
Yeah.
one.
Right.
Two, you look racially ambiguous, like you trying to get in, infiltrate, and then make it look like it's yours. So then in the future, people that don't look like us will end
Will
up
claim
claiming
it,
this to
yep.
be it because
Yeah.
you became the key that allowed that to happen.
Right.
That's how crazy this is.
No,
getting.
yeah, it goes deep.
No, it
symbolic.
goes
Yeah.
super deep, bro.
It does, it
It
does.
does.
Because themselves, we have our own, like, we would take Afro-Cuban music, say it's salsa. We
Yeah.
got our own bomba and play now. We don't.
Uh-huh.
We had our own African traditions in Poesia Negroide,
Absolutely.
which people
Yeah.
were rapping on drums from the griot, West African shit.
Uh-huh.
The thing about
The white outfits, everything.
yeah, so
Yeah.
African American music is way unique only because of the fact, unlike everyone else in the diaspora, the drums were stripped from them. So they had to improvise by using other different
Yeah.
instruments to apply those polyrhythmic rhythm patterns, right? And that's why it becomes something distinct. Everywhere you go in Latin America, people got drums.
Exactly, yeah.
But not here until the fusion of Dizzy Gillespie with Chano Pozo and they created the Latin jazz.
Right,
fusion.
right. Tito
Then you
Fontana.
start seeing bongos and congas incorporated into African American music through funk and stuff like that. So lines could get blurred crazy.
Easily, yeah.
Because it's New York. How many genres did New York birth?
Exactly.
You got the punk rock, you got hip hop, you got bebop, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking bebop. So imagine you leave outside of New York now, and it's a whole different world. Because people don't understand that the New York City metropolitan area is in its own bubble, literally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is.
And
It
especially
really is.
back
It's not
then,
until
in
you
the
step out.
70s, when there was
No internet.
there was
No
no
internet.
connection.
Nothing.
Yeah,
Nothing.
So people
everything
could
was
look
regional.
at video and you see a video
Yeah.
where Puerto Ricans and African Americans are actually having these gangs together and
Yeah.
they'd be like, that's not what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Right.
not, that ain't, because that ain't
That
what
didn't
it-
happen.
They're telling it to
Yeah.
people that were there.
Yeah.
That's the part that's hard to sell on
Yeah.
me. But the reality of it is that I think that they're holding on to more of a view specifically to the music and not really the culture.
Yeah.
And the reality is the music was sampling, James Brown and drums and all these types of things that are more rooted in just Black American music.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know,
Also,
they got sometimes if you got a bongo in your stuff, you got a conga in your stuff,
yeah.
Uh-huh.
that's not coming from Virginia.
Yeah.
That's not coming from Georgia. That's not even coming from New Orleans. That's from Cuba.
Yep.
And the homies that brought those Cuban styles here were the Puerto Ricans that
Right.
continued the legacy of Afro-Cuban music and then they were living in proximity with African Americans.
Yeah.
Like, it is what
Yeah,
it is. So-
exactly.
Yeah, because the hip hop culture was not created as a racial thing. And mind you, I'm talking shit. This is my opinion. This is what I think. It wasn't created as a black versus white thing. Hip hop was created as a poor versus rich thing. It was the voice of the poor, the voice of the streets. It was created by poverty.
Right.
And poverty is all of us.
Yeah.
The Bronx in the 70s was just a bunch of poor ass blacks, Puerto Ricans, some white boys was in
Irish
there,
people,
some
yeah,
Irish.
yeah, Jewish people.
How
It
many
was just
Puerto-
poor,
How
bruh.
many Puerto Ricans you seen rock dead ass afro?
Hell yeah.
Like black?
My uncle had the flavor afro, bro. Happy birthday to him, word.
How many
Yeah,
of
a
us is
couple of
mixed
mine,
with that
too.
blood? Even
Hell
like
yeah.
crazy like you see him in his videos, even the other homie that was the famous photographer, they rocking. These are legitimate natural froze through our African ancestors.
Right.
So they'll be like, and
Yeah.
y'all made that.
Yeah.
Y'all copied
Y'all
off
took that from us. Yeah.
Like, you can't.
Nah,
do
you
that.
But
can't copy that. Yeah.
This is kind of what I was saying though earlier about like the worldview that everybody has now. I'm right, you're wrong.
Yeah.
You know, when you look at that and like just I feel like appropriation has been a buzzword only for the last so many years. When you think about life and history and just how things progress and grow, there's always been elements of different cultures that become incorporated into different parts of different lives in other regions of the world. That's not a bad thing.
That's how you evolve.
Exactly, that's how you
learn
evolve.
from others.
Yeah.
So, you know, I understand the sensitivity behind it because there's a lot of pain in the history
Yeah,
of
and
course.
that deserves to and that has to be acknowledged. And I will never get up here and say hip hop is not black music. Hip hop is absolutely black music.
Absolutely.
But when we're talking about the elements that were thrown together to help it really blend and
The
become
culture of it.
Yeah.
what came out of it.
yeah.
We were there. I mean,
were there.
you don't have to agree. For,
You don't have to
for it to
believe
be
it.
a fact. You know what I mean?
And also the thing is too, we're not trying to claim it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well,
We're
I wasn't there.
You know, we're not, it's not like I'm saying
I wasn't born yet.
Oh yeah, Latinos created hip hop. Just no, we're trying to share it. Like we were there. We helped create it. We didn't create it by ourselves. We didn't come up with the idea. We helped cultivate this thing
The
that became
culture
The
of
cultivation
hip hop.
of it.
Yeah, we
Yes.
helped cultivate this
Yes.
thing that we now call hip hop.
I mean,
Right.
Yes.
like
You know what I'm
not
saying?
many years later, look at someone like Lex, who's a true hip hop. I mean, he met his.
A student
No,
of
absolutely,
hip hop.
100%.
A professor of hip hop.
That was one of the first things I told him. Like, yo, this guy's a real rap,
A connoisseur.
a real rap dude. You know what I'm saying? Like,
How
and
many-
he said, a rap nerd. I'm like, yeah, rap nerd. He's a
And
real
that's
rap
not a
nerd.
diss.
That's not a diss. You're a
Yeah.
rap nerd. I'm a rap nerd.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
he's carrying on the legacy of all the other people who's also participated and contributed to the culture since day one.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? So
Yeah.
he don't see nothing different with it. He's like, oh, I know there's people that already had the torch before me and there's documentation for it.
Yeah.
So he just seeing himself as like,
It's
I'm doing
ignorance,
what
bro.
I'm doing.
Yeah.
It is
Common
ignorance. And when
shit.
when you use the word ignorant, it's ignorant of it. Like it basically they don't have that experience, so they don't understand how it works. They don't understand what it means to live in a community where, you know, your next door neighbor is a Puerto Rican kid who you borrowed a cup of sugar from, and you see them
Whose
tomorrow.
mom used to make you food
Exactly,
when you ain't had
exactly.
none in the
No,
crib.
yeah, who my mother used to watch.
Yeah.
This is family.
Yeah.
This is your community.
Yeah.
These are the people that so you don't when you don't have that experience, it's hard to buy it when your experience is kind of polar opposite because our history is segregated, right? We have a history of segregation in many parts of the states, redlining and all of that. You know, like that is documented. All of this shit is by design, and I even think that
absolutely.
this conversation is by design.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
because you know a lot of people that put these comments up, I go and click on them, and they be like, joined last month, no comments, no subscribers, no followers, and I'm like, yo, is this AI talking shit? But let me
Yeah.
give a quick direct message to the camera and all the YouTube people who come on my page and talk shit about Latinos and hip hop. I just want to say, I don't really give a fuck, dog. I'm going to keep saying it because y'all comment on it. If I say blacks invented hip hop, y'all won't comment on shit. My algorithm go down. So if I say Latinos was there, y'all get all your little panties all twisted and y'all leave a comment and start talking shit and my algorithm jumps. So
Stimulate the algorithm.
continue to debate some
Engage.
shit. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm going to just keep saying it. Next, I'm going to say we created hip hop.
Yeah, nice.
I'm going to say Jay-Z Puerto Rican.
No, don't do that shit on my episode, though.
That's gonna be the solo episode, but I'm gonna say some crazy shit because that be the shit y'all interact with. If I say some real positive shit, some true shit, then whatever,
I mean,
y'all.
I've seen like right now, even in Hudson County, like we have two key communities. You guys in your city, North Bergen, Glenburg. A lot of people keep authentic hip hop alive, right?
Oh, for sure.
They're detached from the average African American community that exists in Jersey City in the Greenville section. Whereas I grew up in downtown, it was a fusion between these two communities. The gentrification has caused the total separation of the two. So now we
As
really-
planned.
Now you see there's two separate types of Hudson counties.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And that's kind of exemplary of like what the rest of the country is like outside of the
Yeah.
way we see shit.
Well, they don't want us to unite, bro.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Or
that's
get
the bottom
along.
line.
Yeah, they'll never want us to unite.
That's across the board.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, I mean,
There's
if
constant wars.
I have any message to anybody listening, it's like, yo, if you ahead and you about this, and then you about this culture,
Yeah.
why? Like, it's usually a discussion I don't even entertain.
Yeah.
Because I'm comfortable with what the reality is.
Mm-hmm.
So don't let them divide us. You know
Oh
what I
no,
mean?
like
Yeah,
I
no,
said,
it's
it's interaction, bro.
Yeah.
So
It's crazy that-
and I'm gonna talk shit.
They were
Yeah,
using
I'm gonna talk shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's part of it too. Isn't that part of the culture? Isn't that part of it?
Absolutely.
Standing up for
You can't just
yourself.
call me out. And
This whole music began. This whole the rebellious spirit of hip hop is standing
Battle
up for
rapping.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
When the
You're
world
not gonna
is
give us
giving you
nothing, we're
nothing.
gonna go take it.
And they were using like even a song like Kendrick, like They Not Like Us to apply to us.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Oh, absolutely.
That's y'all and Drake, but that,
Yeah.
why y'all now encompassing a bigger? Now there's a cultural narrative. Is it?
Yeah.
Or is it
Yeah.
just some-
But we are of the culture.
Yeah, exactly.
so-
It's it goes back to ignorance,
is,
bro.
it's hard to kind of like see supremacy in a way where it's like coming from the what's the right word? The oppressed, right? So essentially, there are years of oppression in our history. But when you hold firm to the belief they're not like us, that is a very let me say this. The one person that came to mind, he's probably not that oddball for anybody to say, but like that, who we would
the
not
surprise fan of?
the surprise fan
Yeah.
of would be Kendrick Lamar for me. And I don't think that that's so much of a surprise, because if you listen, then you know that he's lyrical, but a lot of people who are like in this realm refuse to kind of give him the props he deserves. That
you
guy
gotta give him his props.
he's incredible. But they're not like us, and it being used at that capacity is kind of like I am better than you.
Yeah.
I am better than you. And it's supposed to be that way in a rap battle.
Right.
He did his fucking thing in that battle. He destroyed the dude. But for it to become this narrative now, right, where it's like you just kind of laugh at everything that somebody else does because I'm better. That's a supremacist mindset. And that's dangerous.
Yeah.
And that's dangerous to buy into too heavily. And I don't think that most people who are kind of like taking that approach and operating in that fashion are particularly cognizant of it in that capacity.
Right.
But the reality is, though, like I have a song called None Above, None Below that was on the Alex album, and that is literally my mantra for life. The reason I get along with so many people on the rap scene, I never really have any problems with anybody, is because I don't I'm not going to treat the mayor better than I'm going to treat the janitor. It doesn't.
Right.
They're human beings that are whatever we're talking about is what we're talking about. You know what I mean? You're on the same level as me always. I don't feel like you're above me either. Same way I would never put you below me.
Right.
So I mean, I kind of feel like that's something that we tend to get away from. The more we're doing this, and we're looking at our phones, and everything is feeding into our worldviews, and we're right, and everybody else is wrong. You just
That's crazy. I mean,
Well, that's the thing,
That's
too.
the time we live in.
This also, I believe, aside from a billion things that it did to us, it also made us tremendous narcissists.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
sure.
Because everything
Absolutely.
is, you know how many people that I know personally that their whole shit is just selfies of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They call that radical individualism.
Yeah,
what it
like
Because they curtailed the thing in order for you to think that the world now revolves around your
Right.
view
Yeah.
because
Right.
they customize things in the personalization through a program.
Now everyone's the star of the movie.
yeah, you're the main character now.
Everyone's like, I'll be saying legend.
Yeah.
But literally, this shit is like,
Yeah.
you a legend.
Yeah.
And you did nothing to earn legend status.
legend.
No,
Word.
actually, that is we
Yeah.
live in
Even celebrities
Yeah.
are like,
There's a bunch of celebrities that have no talent and have
Well,
done nothing,
right.
and the whole Kardashian
you-
empire is built
exactly.
off no fucking talent other than sucking a dick.
Yeah.
You can't say that they've done nothing because they've done
something to get them
something,
somewhere, right?
something to.
Well, let's
to-
say they've done nothing beneficial to society.
they've
Yeah.
done nothing entertaining to be an entertainer.
Yeah.
Right.
So like I agree that they've done nothing.
Yeah,
Let
no,
me get
yeah,
that straight.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, there's a way that all of these things work. There's a way that algorithms work. There's a way that the world works.
Marketing
And they
and all
figured
that
out
shit,
how
bro.
to tap
Yeah.
into all
And
of
that's
that
another
and
thing,
make it
how do you-
happen. Look at somebody like a Kai Cenat. You know how many people I've asked what he does because I don't know what the fuck he does and they don't know either. And the dude is like sitting next to Kevin Durant. And
He just
you
did
know,
like a Nike ad or
Yeah,
something.
he's-
T-Mobile
he-
ad or something.
And he got
shout outs
he
to
got a
him.
McDonald's.
Yeah, no,
Figured
shout
out
out
his
to
way.
him for
but
his
I
hustle,
don't
but
see what it is
he
that makes him
literally
famous.
He's a
Yeah.
streamer. He just talks.
Yeah, he
and
just talks. Yeah, and plays
Shout
video games.
that's-
That's all it does.
that's-
And
that's
we're not knocking them.
No, no, no.
You
Man, that
did
sounds like
that
a
and you
dream,
became.
actually.
Yeah,
I would just play
sounds
video
good,
games to get rich.
shit.
I think that's how the phone
Absolutely.
operates. You know what I'm saying? You end up thinking that you get lost into this world where now everyone considers themselves to be a star, right?
Right.
In reality, when it comes down to it, and we go through the meat grinder, a lot of people are not who they say they are.
I know a
But
lot of
there's-
people ain't built to last shit,
but
bro.
there's
And
enough-
to go back to what you said real quick about the selfies, I read somewhere something that stuck with me forever. There is self-doubt behind every selfie.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The selfie is for looking for validation.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
So it's like
I mean, I can't find, like, if I didn't have music, I really.
you wouldn't have social
Nah,
media.
but then, you know, I went through my own, like, I grew up with alcoholic, I had no father, you know what I'm saying? People end up doing music to gain attention for validation, that's one.
Yeah.
But also to express emotions that you couldn't express
Have an
elsewhere.
outlet. So
Yeah.
it can be twofold. So you can, I remember there'd be times I'll be on stages and if I say the most outlandish shit, I'm gonna get the obvious response.
Mhm.
Now imagine how dangerous that is when people believe.
That's
it's-
today. That is
Yeah.
the world
Yeah,
today,
yeah,
brother.
exactly. Yeah, that's what's going on right now.
Yeah.
But
I
as
believe
an
it's
artist,
true.
you have a large amount of responsibility. Like I
Yeah.
see Lex takes that into account because he knows what he's unpacking and taking
Yeah.
out. He probably thinks like, what will my children think about something like this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even if they don't listen
Even
to it,
us
they
on
probably-
a podcast level, right? We
Yeah.
don't talk gossip. We don't talk
Yeah.
celebrity shit. Once in a while, if it's like jokey, we'll joke around about
Of
something.
course, yeah,
But
we'll play around
We
with
don't
shit.
hit these hot topics, and our success shows that. You know, if we were to go that route, we might be more successful. But
Yeah.
what would we be sacrificing
Right.
soul wise? You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
There's a
Not
level
only
of
that-
integrity to everything
Yeah.
you do as a
Yeah.
human.
So when you listen to a Lex album, then you already know you listening to the real essence of what this shit is.
Exactly.
And not the breaded circus and the funhouse. You get what I mean? Now how many people are like that, bro?
And how many people care, bro?
That's the
Yeah.
other thing.
They don't
That's the
care.
hard
They
part.
want to be the
They
star.
want
They
the
want to be the
entertainment.
celebrity.
Yeah.
They want
People
the
wanna be
10 million
entertained.
followers and
you
all that
not,
shit.
Like the shit they, you know, there's always a voice in the wilderness, John the Baptist type figure, but it's always, you know, like you drowned out by whatever
Yeah.
is the situation at the time. But no matter what, eventually authenticity may, you know, end
Yeah.
up giving. People give way to authenticity,
Yeah.
or how powerful
Yeah.
the message.
You know when there was sadly what I tend to see become a reality in terms of finally appreciating people's authenticity is when we see them pass.
Yeah.
When we see them pass. Look at the videos that we've been seeing of Clark Kent, the testimonials that I've been seeing about Tino XL. Like I want to give a quick shout out to rest in peace to Dallas Penn. Dallas Penn.
Oh
was-
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
100.
internet.
Yeah, reconnecting
Yes,
with
sir.
Combat Jack. You know, like just what really comes out from you know the word of mouth from the people that were close to them.
Yeah.
They show you the human that they were. You know, and it's beautiful to finally like appreciate that aspect of what they do because people are not talking about you know what it was. Well, most people are talking about what the impact you know the art did what did for
Yeah.
them, but when you see people who knew them and they're talking about like the character, this person helped push me to be my best. I think it was Graf I seen talking about Clark Kent.
Yeah.
And how you know he always made me my best.
I just read
that's
today
vital.
that Clark Kent was
We need
Foxy's
people like
cousin.
that.
I didn't know that shit.
I didn't know that either.
One thing I didn't like what Clark Kent said. He's like, the Dr. Dre album, The Chronic, wasn't a classic because RBX was on it or some shit. I'm like, nah, RBX is that dude.
That sound personal.
When I was a kid,
You know,
but I gotta revisit that album now because now you probably.
I'll agree with him in the sense that the album is a classic album, but it's not a 5 mic album.
Yeah, I get what
Chronic.
you're saying. Yeah.
That's how you feel about
To
the
me,
Chronic?
yeah, to me, there's skips on there. It's a dope album. It's a
Yeah,
classic
no,
album.
absolutely, yeah.
It changed the culture. That shit was
Yeah.
like a fucking meteor when it dropped, but the shit got skips.
Yeah, I mean, you got to take into consideration impact also when you're talking about, you know, classic. That word is not something you just apply to everything, and that
True.
impact
We,
is crazy.
Yeah.
because no, yeah, absolutely. But nowadays, everything's a classic. The
Everything,
shit
yeah,
comes
yeah.
out 5 minutes ago. Oh, that shit's a classic.
It's a class. No, it's
But will
not.
it stand the test of time, like you said? Now
Right.
you go back. You could hit Illmatic. It's still. You could hit Sunrise
Yeah.
in the East by J. Woody Daniels.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Still
What artist from today is gonna get played 20 years?
That's what I mean. Like
I'll tell you. So I heard the Low End Theory recently.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna tell you, there was some skippable joints.
Yeah, and that's okay, but it's still a
How
classic.
dare you?
I can never skip no Nas joint though. Like that's
Yeah.
I can't like Illmatic. I can't skip. But probably now, when I started doing my albums, I know there's other people do albums. I think like the shorter the better. Not shorter like 5 joints, but a good 10.
Yeah, a
joints.
good 9-10 joints.
Yeah.
Like,
Or you got to consider people's attention span now too,
Is
and the overflow, right? There's just so much. It's an avalanche, right? It's an
Yeah.
avalanche of shit.
You
coming
can't
out all
listen
the
to
time.
everything.
It's
Yeah.
impossible.
no.
No.
Yeah, and on top of that, absorb anything. You know what I mean?
See,
really
and-
appreciate it.
See, but that's also one of my things, right? The fact that we're getting flooded, like you said, or an avalanche of music, right? Me, I actually like to sit with a project for a
Yeah.
week or two to really listen to it, get into it, like absorb. Oh, I didn't fucking hear that the first 50 times I heard this song.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
But it's hard. It's even hard to do that now because in doing that, you'll miss 30 projects.
Right.
yeah, exactly. Then I gotta go back to what I missed.
Oh, so
So-
you'll never catch up.
What becomes the cultural impact of any one thing, if that's the case?
Right.
Right.
Everything
It's-
is diminished.
Right. So
Yeah.
in the same regard, everything's a classic.
yeah. Oh, that's,
Because a
that's,
classic lasts 5 minutes now.
That's
It's bullshit. But that's where we're at with it.
I feel like when at the time when there was the great blackout in New York City and people who had access
In
to
75, 76,
Correct.
something like
and
that.
that actually allowed there to be like an evolution in hip hop, like a boom because everyone
Yes.
had access to equipment.
Equipment, yeah.
Alright, so
Everyone stole equipment.
So now-
let's keep the story
in
straight.
the early, in the early
now,
stages.
Now we in the Zoom generation, right? From COVID, where it was lockdown, so people end up having access to recordable equipment from their house to do podcasts and things of
Yeah.
that nature. So I think the increase now, and the fact that the quality doesn't have to be as standard as it was before, so
Right.
you can stream immediately.
Well, there's also no gatekeeper, bro. There's
Yeah.
nobody that says, "Yo, you're whack," and nobody wants to
Yeah.
hear that shit and give it up.
I mean, you got Blueface type artists and stuff.
Blueface
right? So-
is whack.
Nah, he. That's one
Pardon
person.
me if you're a fan.
I'm not a fan, no, but I'm saying I will openly say that an artist like Blueface to me is whack, right? I don't necessarily mean he's whack.
No
to his
diss.
fans,
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
diss.
you know what I mean? But it's just not my shit. Fuck, where was I going?
And he
We
built-
talking about
I'm sorry,
Blueface.
bro.
No, that's my fault.
He
That's my
built a
bad.
whole career of trash music.
Yeah.
Right, but all right, so we're talking about standards and shit, right? So not only the part of the standard was like a certain quality sound. You needed a studio quality sound. Right now, everybody has something close to that in their bedrooms if they want it.
Yeah.
Yep.
which is good but bad in the same
Good and
time.
bad.
Right,
yeah.
right, right.
Exactly.
Because not
It-
everybody could. Anybody who has an idea
Yeah.
can put something out. So if there's been a decrease, like you said, in of everyone now, because everyone has an idea, that means everything is considered a classic because
Yeah.
there's so many
And
people
everything comes out.
of low value
right.
that are being
Yeah,
critics.
There's like back in the day, you actually had to, first of all, you had to find a studio that was where you could record, number one.
Right.
You had to be within their budget because, you know what I'm saying, you didn't have the money like that. Second of all, you couldn't, if you could block out an hour, you had to go with the mind frame, I only have an hour
Right.
to fucking record whatever.
had to be
so I can't,
sharp.
I can't go in there and waste fucking time sitting down, rolling up, drinking this, talking to this bitch. By that time,
orientation
your hour's
that
done.
You gotta do the orientation one has to go through in
But-
order to create.
But my thing is exactly now you have to plan this shit out. You have to have a plan. You have to, first of all, your skills have to be up to begin with. You know what I'm saying? So you can't go in there just now, but now you have it in your bedroom.
Now it
you
don't
wake
matter.
up from a dream. Oh shit, I had an ill dream. I'm gonna record this dream. But it's bullshit, yo. That I think it watered everything down with the fact that everybody has access to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
that's kind of the point.
That's
I was
part of
getting
our
to.
problem.
Yeah.
So you got
Big part of it.
somebody like Lex, hip hop connoisseur, who's been from the ground from back then to now.
But it
And
would
then
be
he
hard to
actually-
find Lex because there's 20
Right.
fucking sucker MCs.
That-
You know what I'm
that's the
saying?
problem. So nowadays, you know what I'm saying? Like, no matter, and especially like if you Hispanic, it's even crazy.
And from Jersey, a triple negative.
I mean, you
Yeah.
already know. So like, so now that's why people end up coming up with these gimmicks and
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're
How
hot
can I
for a
compete
week.
with
That
these-
little gimmick
with
shit
what's
is hot.
going on?
It's classic for
Like,
a week.
For a week,
Imagine
yeah.
Lex be like, yo, I'm gonna start playing the trumpet on live on my
Yeah.
joints. So now I need to, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like a
yeah, I need
gimmick that you
something
have to
that-
do.
But then you got to stick with that too, because when
Right.
you lose the trumpet, they're gonna be like, "Who are you?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm the
Exactly.
guy with the trumpet." Well, where's the
Well,
fucking
yeah,
trumpet?
no, you're not.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We are quickly running out of time, my people. Let's
Oh,
get
my
to some
bad.
quick stuff. You have an ill hip hop memorabilia collection.
Okay.
What started that, and what is your favorite piece?
Oh my God. I'm not sure what my favorite piece is. I'm gonna have to think on that for a second. But what started it was just kind of like I've always had a collector's like kind of personality that goes from the music to like going out to the record store to purchase a cassette or a CD or even vinyl while I was doing my DJing. Like all of that, I've always liked to have something to hold, to hold, to look at, and be like, this is what I'm what I'm messing with right now.
Yeah.
I want this in my collection. Same thing with the clothes, right? With the polo and
that's our next.
with the kicks
our
and
next
all of that.
Sneakers and all that.
Yeah, the low and Nikes. If you're familiar with my project that dropped earlier this year with my man Buck, it's got a joint called Low and Nikes on it. Well, I'm discussing a little bit of my obsessions in that regard. But again, collector mindset, right? I want that piece.
What else do you collect besides low, kicks, and hip hop?
Debt, stress.
Is there anything else?
Nah. Actually, honestly, I'm not too much in debt, thank God.
Amen.
That's really kind of primarily it, because there's only so much room that I have. I'm a father above anything else. You know what I mean? So like, I gotta be responsible to a degree of always.
Yes.
So my favorite piece. So I started collecting like when I got I moved out to Long Island 4 years ago, or almost 4 years ago. And I had a little more space when we got out there. So with that, I did kind of have a little bit more of an access to my own kind of like, what they call a man cave type spot, right? Just my own little space where I could keep all this shit I collect. And I started just kind of like when Super 7, I think, started putting out like the hip hop toys. I think the first one they did that I was familiar with at least was the ODB joint. It had like
that's so fire that they thought of that.
Yeah. So that was like, okay, I could put this on my wall, and then they just started doing more, and I'm like, every time a new one drops, I'm like, I need that, I need that one. So I'm into the collecting and stuff. I do wish there are a couple of pieces that because I'm not dropping.
So that's my next question. What's the one piece that you don't have that you want?
Yeah, so there's the Rap Cats Mad Villain joint.
The figure?
The figure.
Okay.
I mean that one and both that and the Quasimodo, both of those. I want those. Those are the two. Like they kind of go.
Are they up in price now?
Yeah, they're about like $700 on eBay or something. Yeah, I ain't trying to do all that. Like I said, I'm a father first.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I do what I can.
And you gotta eat food.
Yeah, exactly.
Christmas right around the corner too.
Should get here in the blink.
Damn.
No, shout out
But
to
yeah,
that.
How about
I mean,
toys?
if anybody really likes like the music and they want to really impress me, you know what I'm saying? And holla at me through the DM, and it'd be like, I got this Rap Cats figure for you.
Yeah, make that happen.
How about like vintage toys and shit like that?
Vintage, not too much.
Like shit from our childhood,
Yeah, like Voltron. Voltron was my favorite.
That
piece
was
back
my
in the day.
favorite shit too.
Because it was
I could
steel. Like
it was huge too. It was like this fucking big.
Yo, those things were weapons.
Yeah,
they were heavy.
yeah.
That's before they knew like safety guidelines.
Yeah. Plus that shit was made in
You
China.
could get a
and shit.
20-pound steel lion's throat.
But they were durable, right? Like, that shit was durable. You could throw that shit against the wall. And still like.
And the wall would be dented.
Exactly.
I would still pay for that right now. For
Hell
an
yeah.
official 80s version
Voltron,
of that.
yeah.
Yeah, Voltron was probably the illest
That was
toy that
my
I've
favorite
ever
shit.
had.
I put my son onto Voltron.
Yeah.
He loves that shit.
Yeah?
Hell yeah, he loves all that shit.
That's a can't go wrong.
Yeah, nah, hell yeah. He loves that and of course Transformers and shit. But I told him like Voltron's cooler than Transformers, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but Transformers blew up more.
Transformers
they did. Yeah,
They
of course.
became Americana.
Transformers had a lot of different personalities.
Yeah,
in
of
this,
course. It's dope. I'm not taking nothing away from Transformers, but
Yeah.
Voltron was the shit.
Nah, Voltron was another level, especially when you talk about the toys.
Hell
But
yeah.
all the remakes have been trash.
Yeah,
They haven't gotten a remake right.
I haven't seen one that I was very impressed
The
with.
Netflix one, the one on Netflix, the cartoon on Netflix is cool.
But it's
You know
not
what I'm saying?
it.
It's not
It's
good, but
close.
Yeah,
but
it's
not.
close, but yeah.
But I mean that's also just coming back around to quality control, right? Like
True.
things are accessible in a different way, and you got to get it out fast now. You think of like if you watch the old Thundercat cartoons,
Another favorite.
the score, like they had whole orchestras doing the scores. Like there's so much involved in the
animation
production.
alone.
The animation is brilliant. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yo, it's
Like,
amazing.
it is
yo.
really amazing. Even the backdrops, just the level of skill that's
And
involved
detail,
in
yeah.
It was
and
like a
imagine just
comic book
repeating
that came to
yeah.
life. That literally came to life.
So
yo.
good. That's
Those color palettes. Ooh.
So the quality drops down. You know, sometimes if the writing is good, you're gonna be able to carry it, but it's never gonna be the quality that you had in those original shows because it's just.
And not only that,
now.
remember, we didn't have so much shit. We only had such limited quantities of content.
There's only so much to choose from.
So whatever you liked, you loved, and you held it close to your heart. Like, oh, this is my shit. I'm gonna love you forever. Type shit.
Yeah, true.
And it's different now, bro. People have too many options now.
Yeah.
Let's go to Low real quick before we wrap up.
Okay.
How long? I know your brother started it, so we're gonna blame him.
Yeah.
But how long have you been a low head? And do you have a favorite piece that you own and a piece that you want?
Man, I've had a lot of pieces that I regret moving. And then like, you know, they've been retroing, you know, a lot lately. So I mean, that's the second part of the question. Initially, when I started, I want to say. Look, I wasn't out boosting, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't have all the pieces that I want to have. Queens wasn't quite as, I mean, certain parts of Queens still probably did have their heads that was running into A&S and just racking shit out the mall and all that. But it wasn't like Brooklyn.
Right, it was more like a Brooklyn thing.
Yeah, that was where, like, you know, boxes was falling off trucks every day. You know what I mean? Like it was a whole lot of taking. But so I didn't really come up in the midst of that, but like I was influenced by that. And so I had a couple of pieces, and a lot of my pieces when I was young was mostly like outlet pieces, right? So my parents had the spot in PA that we would go to, and if we go out there, I might catch something with a little gold dot on it or something, you know, like a RL67 patch type joint. And so that's like my fever kind of grew just watching my brother collect. But I want to say that must have been like 92 era, you know, and that's when the shit was just like visually like popping, like very popping. And I was young. I was about 11, 12 years old at that time. So I didn't get too heavy into it until I got a little bit of my own money. You know? You grow up, you got your job, and you're doing what you can. But my favorite piece that I've ever owned, and I regret getting rid of the Babe Ruth P-Wing. I had the red joint, the baseball jacket. It's like a varsity. It's got the rings on the shoulders. That was one of my favorite pieces I ever owned. I always really kind of like that. I got some patch, like the ski patchwork is pretty fresh. Like right now I do have a. I've moved so many pieces over the years, man. The Sportsman on the back. I used to always like the Sportsman graphics. That was like that whole line. That I was really into was the Sportsman, and they've been bringing that back around a little bit too. So that's been dope.
When you say you've moved pieces, like you sold them?
Oh yeah. I used to sell. I used to trade. Well, I didn't buy and sell. I would buy and then just I've had this long enough. I'm not wearing it anymore. What else can I get that I'm gonna wear now? So
tell me that's not fucked up, right? Because you'll do that and you'll be like, damn, I don't wear this shit no more. Let me sell it. Then you sell it. Then 3 years later, 4 years later, you're like,
I wish I had that.
Damn, I would have worn that shit right now. That's just so fun. And then also tell me this don't happen to y'all. As kids, we're like, Mom, buy me this shirt. Okay, how much? $150. Hell no, you stupid. Damn, you cheap, Mom. What the fuck? But then when you get your own money, how much is that shirt? $150. $150. Damn,
I'm not buying that shit.
This polo shit kind of, I don't know.
Wait till this shit go on sale, man. You gotta find your steals, man. But
shout out to Ralph, bro.
I think the piece that it's not really so much one piece, but a line that I fuck with, the country line joint, the Polo Country, the joints. They're real simple.
That is desert influence?
Sort of.
Indian influence? Like Native American?
Well, you know, I do have a lot of those type of pieces too, like the Navajo joints.
The Navajo, that's what I'm thinking of, the Navajo.
No, those
collection.
are fire too. Actually, I mean, we put it that way. The Chief Head knit is one that I've never owned. I did have the roll neck version of it, but I didn't like the way the arms fit, so I ended up moving that back in the days. But yeah, the straight crew neck Chief Head might be the one piece if I could choose one today. Like that's the one I'll take. But the line that I like one of my pieces that I wish I would have gotten was the Polo Country line. So it's like the green patch, on the neck. But they have just a little polo on the sleeve, and then there's a line on the sleeve and a line that goes across the bottom of the jacket. They have a couple different types, but the colorway that I mess with is it's like a beige, a navy blue, and an orange. You know, fresh with
Crazy
Classic
shit.
piece.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy shit.
Shout out to all the low heads out
Hell
there.
yeah, man.
Yeah, a couple of y'all niggas know what I'm talking about.
Shout out to the company of Polo for after much what's the word? After much defense?
What you mean?
I don't know. So basically Polo wasn't about retroing shit.
Okay.
For the longest time. That they were against it even.
Yeah.
Right.
And then somewhere along 2002 or 3, they warmed up to the idea of retroing.
Okay.
And their first retro was a Polo Bear sweater.
Right.
The 92 sit down.
Yeah. And then they began retroing. After that, they've opened the floodgates for retroing.
Yeah.
So shout out to whoever was at Polo, because I know it was a younger person that came in and was like, yo, we got to retro some of this old shit. And the old heads was like, nah, fuck out of here. And he
Yeah,
was like,
of
yo,
course not.
this is going to sell. And once they saw how it sold, then they retroed mad shit.
Yeah.
But then they retroed, what's the shit? Spring Beach?
No, the
Snow
Polo
Beach.
Beach. Polo,
yeah.
yeah, the Snow Beach.
Beach.
Snow Beach was more recently.
Yeah,
they
that
finally
wasn't that long
retroed
ago.
it.
That
They
was a
finally
few years
retroed
ago.
it.
But remember, they put it out in all black.
They put it out on all
Yeah.
black
That was
variants.
dope.
Yeah.
They had a couple of different variants.
So
they
they're
didn't go too
open.
crazy with it, thankfully.
Yeah.
Some lines they went crazy with. I
And they
feel like were
didn't
watering down a
release
couple
it
things.
like their quantities were still limited with Snow
Yeah,
Beach.
absolutely.
Very
Yeah,
limited.
yeah.
What they've watered down is the Polar Bear.
Yeah, they watered
in
down
my
the bear.
opinion,
But the bear has always
watered it
been
down.
kind of like a recurring success for them, though. At least the T-shirts for many years.
Yeah.
The sweaters, they kind of did water down because
Yeah.
there's so many of them now.
Especially like hoodies and shit. The knits,
Yeah.
they did too, but to a lesser degree. But
the hoodies,
Quality
yeah.
control as a whole. Like if you want something that's even as good quality as the throwback joints, you got to go double RL.
Yeah.
And it's not the same designs. You know,
and it's
like,
not the same price scale either.
not the definitely not. The
Believe
same
it or
price
not, oddly, people aren't aware of this or just choose not to care, but Polo is the lowest price point of the Ralph Lauren empire. That's their cheap shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
we hold it up like,
Yo, Polo still the shit.
Well, it was
to
better.
Ralph
It was
Lauren is
better
like-
than RL jeans
Or
code.
Chaps.
Yeah, Chaps back in
Chaps
the day.
was
Yeah.
ass.
So you can get them shits at Follies.
Could have had a polo shirt.
Finally.
Could have had a polo shirt.
But shout out to I had Chaps. I don't give a fuck.
I had
That's
Chaps,
what we
I
could
ain't gonna
afford.
lie.
That's
Yeah.
what I was wearing.
Yeah, I had a Chaps.
I had many bootleg polo shirts that wasn't even Ralph Lauren. They
Oh, you
was
had the big leather
bootleg.
patch joints.
Probably, hell yeah, bro. What? I know I had bootleg Carl Kanai. Yo, listen, I don't give a fuck, bro. My parents tried, bro.
Hey,
They tried.
Hey,
Called Kanad. The
Shout out
king
to
of
the parents
bro.
for that.
Yeah, God bless him, bro.
Yeah.
Brother Lex, thank you for coming through today.
Thank you for
We had a
having me,
lot
bro.
more to get to, but time is
It's of
our
the essence.
enemy.
it's a ticket. Nah,
But we'll bring you back for sure. Matter of fact, we're gonna bring both of y'all back when y'all drop this collab project y'all gonna do in 2025. Y'all both
Yeah.
gonna come back and we're gonna
So-
get
so we being
more
held to
into
it.
detail. Yes, and we'll get into all the other stuff that we missed today. But thank you for pulling up today, my brother.
Thank
We're not
you,
gonna do
brother.
10
Thank you
shots?
for having me.
Appreciate it. Oh yes, I'm sorry. Yes, let's get into 10 shots. Yes.
10 shots real quick.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you 10 rapid fire questions. You answer them with minimal thought. We'll
Okay.
circle back and discuss your answers. We're going to do Queens edition. Usually I
Okay.
mix it up, but this
Cool.
is all Queen shit today.
Got you.
All right. Number 10, Infamous or Hell on Earth? Better album.
Infamous.
Infamous. Large P or Q-Tip on the mic? Who's a better producer, in your opinion, on the mic?
Producer.
Yeah.
Large Pro.
Okay. The song 3 or We Want to Kill You, which is a better core mega verse?
3.
3? All right, no doubt. That's a dope. They're
On
both
the
dope
bench
to me.
high, eating chicken wings and
Yeah.
French fries. This crackhead fuck his last
Yo,
bucks for $6 or some
That
shit.
is one of the most classic lines in hip hop.
Hell yeah. Pele Pel or Averex?
Averex.
Low in Theory or Midnight Marauders?
Low in theory.
Scenario or Live at the Barbecue? Better posse cut.
Scenario.
Let me see. Where was we? Rewind or I Gave You Power? I Gave You Power. Better Story by Nas.
I gave you power.
No doubt. Let me see. Nature on the Firm or Consequence on Beach Rhymes and Life? Who had the better guest? Who was the better guest?
Nature.
Nature? No doubt. Let's see. What else we got?
But was it Nature in the firm?
He was in the firm.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he was a guest on the Firm.
He wasn't a guest. He was in the firm.
Well, he replaced Cormega.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. He didn't do nothing else with them after the first album.
Nature better than Cormega.
You bugging. I'll slap you right now on this
Shout
fucking.
out to both Nature and Cormega.
Shout out to
Yes,
both of
shout
the
out
Wild
to both of
Gremlins,
them.
baby.
But nah, yeah, Cormega better.
Except against Nature.
Iced Out Medallions or Super Thug?
Iced Out Medallions.
Yes,
no.
sir.
Stillmatic or It Was Written?
Well, Stillmatic for me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, no doubt.
What was
I
the
know
first
that's
two
rare.
questions? I missed the first two.
Infamous or Hell on Earth?
And the answer?
That was Infamous.
Infamous.
Yeah.
And
I don't
the
know if
second,
that's the real answer, but that's the answer I gave.
Yeah.
and the second one was Large Professor over Q-Tip. Producers on the mic.
And who'd you pick?
Large
I
Professor.
pick Large Pro as a producer.
Don't you have a
Like-
bar, Large Pro with the gray beard, some shit like that?
Oh, I probably said some shit. You know how
Yeah.
much over the years I've gotten that? Like a lot of people just tell me that shit. Yeah, Puerto Rican Large Pro.
Yeah. So let's review quickly. Infamous over Hell on Earth. No wrong answer there,
Yeah.
bro. Two
Yeah,
classic
yeah,
albums.
absolutely.
Shout out to the Mob. Rest in peace. P.
Prodigy, yup.
Large Pro over, who was the other one? Q-Tip?
Q-Tip.
Yeah, so
Again,
if
no
I
wrong
elaborate
answer.
on that answer, I like Q-Tip better as an MC than I do Large Professor as an MC, although I love them both as MCs, love them both as producers. I think that I tend to, I was looking at that question as producer, right? Who's the better producer that's on the mic? I think Large Professor is the better producer overall. But Q-Tip is no slouch
Yeah,
either way.
classic, bro.
Yeah, that can't go wrong.
Q-Tip actually is a slept-on producer in my
He is.
opinion.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
produced a lot
absolutely.
of shit that I don't be knowing until like I find out. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah.
He's the
Three
Raphael
over,
Sadiq rap.
yes. Three over Killer's Theme?
Yeah, Killer's Theme or We Want to Kill You, whatever you
Yeah.
want to
Yeah,
call
yeah.
it.
The bar, bro.
Yeah.
On a
Yeah.
bench eating chicken
I'm
wings and
on a
french
On the
fries.
bench high, eat chicken
That's-
wings and french fries.
You can see that, bro. I can see
Yeah.
that. That's movie shit.
Yeah, no.
Crackhead, the
It
spirit is
sound
black
like
slices,
Queensbridge.
Yeah.
It sound like Queensbridge.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Averex
visualize that shit.
over Pelly Pelly?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Pelly Pelly's a Bronx thing, bro.
Yeah, I think Pelly is a little bit more of a Bronx thing. Averex was definitely a Queens thing because we had the Averex right by LaGuardia.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not LaGuardia Airport, LaGuardia Community College. It was
Okay.
right behind there. The cockpit was the name of that spot.
Shout
Yeah.
out to the cockpit.
Shouts to
bro.
the cockpit.
Such a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Low end over what? Midnight Marauders?
Yeah.
yeah, low end was.
Which came first?
Low
end, right?
Low end
Low
came
end.
first. That's probably
Again,
the
no
reason it
wrong
wins
answer.
for me.
Yeah.
That's my favorite album of all time because it's the one that really introduced me. Like that's the one that I grasped, heard in my room, and I loved the music. You know
See,
what I'm
I'm the same as you. That's what I heard first from them was
Yeah.
Low End.
Yeah.
But to me, Midnight was the
saying? Midnight is them at their pinnacle. I do think that it might be the better album, but for me personally,
For nostalgia.
for whatever
Yeah.
reason,
Yeah. No, I
Low
get
End
it.
is the one
Yeah.
that connects to me the most.
I get it. No, that album is phenomenal. Believe me. Low End is.
He said it
amazing.
got skips.
I gotta go back
I
and
ain't
review
mad
it,
at
but
you, bro. It is what it is.
Yeah.
hey, some albums got
Everything ain't
fucking
for
skips, bro. Ready to Die got skips.
Nah.
Ready to Die has skips.
Yeah, Ready to Die gotta skip.
It does.
I don't got
I'm telling you, it does. Scenario over.
Scenario over, what was
It don't
Live at the
matter because
Barbecue.
scenario
Live at the
fucking
Live at the
wins,
Barbecue, yeah,
bro.
Live at the Barbecue.
You talking about best group posse cut scenario? What
That shit blew my mind the first time I heard
there
it.
would be? We would have to really argue about what's a better posse cut than scenario.
The only one that I think probably comes close is we was talking about it earlier. The
Symphony?
Symphony.
I was gonna say that one,
Symphony is a good one.
but
It's a good one.
Symphony's a real good one.
I only thought of the reason why I compare Scenario and both Live at the
Barbecue.
Barbecue is because both of those songs actually like broke two big artists. Like
Right.
Scenario broke Busta Rhymes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Live at the Barbecue. Everybody knows what happened
Nas.
at the Live at the
Yeah.
Barbecue. You know what I'm saying?
And Bro
So
Bacanelli, yeah, that was fire.
you know what I'm saying? So like that's why I compared the two songs.
No,
You know
no,
what I'm
I
saying?
get
it
it,
gave us
but,
two of biggest hip
again,
hop,
Scenario-
hip hop's biggest artists.
That might be the best posse cut ever.
Yeah, and
Symphony's a good battle,
Busta and Charlie Brown were going at each other on that song.
They hated each other.
They
Yeah,
were?
yeah.
There
hated
was
each
beef.
other.
That was right
There
before the breakup.
There was beefing.
Really?
There was beefing on. And on the remix too.
On the remix even more.
On the remix even more because
Yes.
Charlie Brown
The
wanted
remix
to be the
was
star.
fire.
Yo, that
Yeah.
dude that passed away on the I think he was he had a, what was his name?
Kid Hood.
Yeah.
Kid Hood, yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's just
yeah.
like-
That he says it in the verse.
Yeah.
One of us is in heaven.
In
some
spiritual form,
Remember
yeah.
when
Right.
we do a dedication, when he did that Rockefeller?
Yeah.
Rockefeller Rock On?
Yo.
Me and T wanted to do a play on both of them with the beats that they had, but like formatted in order for us to
Do it, brother.
Yeah, man. Do
Hey.
that shit.
We still got time. Thank
Yeah.
the Lord.
One is
Hopefully.
Word up.
Rockefeller and the other one is that dude Hood.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the beat fuses into two for both of them being one. It's
Do that shit.
That's
We
a
just spoke
concept.
about Graph, right? A second
Yeah.
ago, somebody brought up
Yeah.
Graph.
Yeah.
Graph will be performing in New Jersey with the brother Coles on Break a Leg Entertainment, who we also spoke of this
Nice.
upcoming month, November. I'm not sure the date. Go check out the Coles on Break a Leg Entertainment page and find out. But Graph will be performing in the where he has them shows, bro. The outside of the fancy building.
Oh,
The Beacon?
damn, yeah.
Yeah, the Beacon. I gave you Power over Rewind. Totally agree. Both dope, but I gave you Power, bro.
Rewind's the better concept, I think, but the
Yeah.
better story.
The better
Yeah,
and the
give you
better
Power.
song. I gave
Yeah,
you
and the better
Power.
song. And the better song.
Nature over Mega, duh. Bloodshot, where you at,
I didn't
bro?
say Mega.
Nature, the
first of all.
best.
I didn't say Nature over Mega.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, y'all started arguing over that. That was
No, because we have a third co-host named Bloodshot who's out in Florida. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
And I don't know where the argument came from
Because of the firm.
about
We were
Mega
talking about
and
the firm.
Nature.
Yeah.
And he loves Mega.
Yeah.
And I'm a troll.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Nature, the best rap out of Queensbridge ever, bro. He better than Mega and Nas. You crazy? He gets tired. It's so funny.
Slap you right
Oh man, but no, shout out to Nature, bro, and shout out to Mega. I love
Yeah.
both of them. Iced Out Medallions was over.
now. Super Thug.
yeah, they're both
easily,
crazy.
bro. Although Super Thug is a fire
Super
song,
Thug
it's
is
a
his own
commercial,
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a pop song, basically.
Nothing sounds like Super Thug.
Nah, bro.
Nothing.
And what blew me away was when Nori he said the story on Drink Champs that the reason why he started the song off with like what because he couldn't count bars. He didn't know how to count bars, so he didn't know
So
how
he's
to.
hyping himself
He didn't know
up.
where to
Yes,
start
yes,
the
yes,
song. So he's like, the only way he could count 8 bars to where he's supposed to start was doing that what shit.
Yeah.
Dope.
And he also recently
And it
explained
shit
that
came legendary.
Yeah, exactly.
that the Neptunes do not own a Cocker Spaniel.
Stupid.
It was actually a gun.
Run laps around the English Channel.
So his brain said gun equals dog equals Cocker Spaniel, and that's
Run laps around the English Channel. Nice.
Stillmatic over.
It was written.
It was written. Yeah, I know. I catch flack for that one. I catch flack for that one.
You could,
Yeah.
but they're both they're both fucking amazing classics.
Yeah, to me, I think it's more of what happened before and after those albums that made the impact different for me. So like with it was written, although there's no real drop off, it just wasn't Illmatic.
Yeah.
But so I don't know. I guess I still wanted Illmatic. So for me, the initial reaction wasn't the same. But and I didn't love If I Ruled the World as a single personally.
Many of us didn't because it was so commercial, and now
it's
it
just
was
different.
our
Yeah.
underground lord.
I love it today.
Yeah, now of course. Now that
you
accept
appreciate it
now,
Right.
Yeah.
But Stillmatic was like the return, right? That was when he had a little bit of a lull. He came back like with some fire.
Yeah,
So that just hit me different. Opening track, You're the Man, all that shit.
You're the Man is fire.
I remember when I heard You're the Man on
One
the
mic,
radio.
just a lot of concepts
Mike,
on that
yeah,
record.
yeah,
You know,
Rewind.
Rewind was a crazy concept.
Shout out to the GOAT Nas.
Yeah, shout out to Queens, baby.
Yeah, shout out to
Hey,
Queens.
QU.
Queens heavy episode, man.
Yeah, man.
Much history and much love. Shout out to everybody out in Queens doing their thing, all the upcoming artists. Shout out to all the legends. Shout out to anybody who's no longer with us. Queens get the money. Shout out to the
bless your
Mets
life.
as well. Although-
Yeah.
What was a great season.
It was, man.
great
Compared
season. I'll take
to
it.
like you know, it's funny what y'all did compared to how y'all started.
Yeah,
You know
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? Everybody's like,
We
oh, when they
usually do
started,
the
it was over.
reverse. We usually do the reverse. We come
Yeah.
out the gate hot and then fail at the end of the
Slack
year.
it
So it was
Yeah, it was dope.
Nice
man. It was
change to
good.
see
It was
it.
yeah, it was good to see. Good to
Yes,
see.
sir. Shout out to the Jets.
I think they lost.
Shocker.
Fucking bums.
Tradition don't change. Shout out to the Knicks.
Word up.
Let's go Knicks.
Shout out to the Yanks. Go Yanks is 2-0 right
they're
now.
down
They're
two.
down
They're
0-2.
0-2
Yeah.
now, right now.
Shout out to Ice Cube who performed
Yeah,
at
fuck
the.
him.
That was pretty cool. That was pretty
dope,
cool
bro.
though.
Yeah, you know. Shout out to that. When they come back, they gotta let who's from the Bronx?
KRS.
KRS.
KRS. Yeah.
Fat Joe. They're gonna get. Well, they're gonna get
They
Fat Joe.
would get Fat Joe.
They'll get
instead.
Fat Joe.
Oh yeah, it's 100 guns, 100 clips.
No.
And the Jets did lose.
Yeah, terrible.
Duh.
To the Patriots.
Terrible, man.
Shout out to brother CF in the building. Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
for pulling up.
Yes,
brother
thank you,
Lex,
bro.
once again,
Yes,
thank you
sir.
for pulling up.
Thank you, Lex.
Shout out Straight
Thank
Fuego
you.
Studios. Shout out to
My
brother
bro.
F. Make sure you're following
Appreciate
at
you,
Lex Nyre on Instagram. Make sure you're following at Lex718 on YouTube.
That's right. And
Make
X.
sure you download all the albums and X. Make sure you download John. Make sure you download Real Estate.
And I got physical product too.
and he's got physical product.
LexNYRE.bandcamp.com.
Go
Let's
pick up
go.
your merch. And if you're out and about at a show, you probably see the brother Lex. Ask him for a sticker.
Yeah, word
Yeah.
up.
He got them on deck.
Yep.
And next year we're getting a Lex and CF 201
This-
collaboration out.
You gonna speak it into existence?
Yes,
Let's
sir.
go.
And we're
Let's
gonna do
go.
a skit or an intro on there. With that being said, as always, chin up, chest out, carry yourself with honor, carry yourself with pride. This is the Great American Hip Hop Debate Podcast, episode 198, the trek to 200. And we out.
He's
go.
on the golf court. Where's LaCar?
Oh shit, it's back!
Woo!
Woo! Nas, I love you.
Yo, meet me somewhere so we can
The
make
Wave
more
Kid.
money than you can never see rapping. Split the cash,
Huh?
move to Venezuela, adapting. P11s, ACP
Good.
shells blasting.
Oh.
Corner Spanish made. He had a lighter with a can of spray, burning her leg. She tied to the bed. Sex S&M, sadomasochistic, sadistic. Yoked her from behind, blew him out existence.